Good afternoon, viewers, to beautiful Vansittart Park, Mount Gambier, for the big clash between North Gambier versus South Gambier, the Anzac Day clash on the Monday. The ground is absolutely chock-a-block full. It is the Western Border Football League. My name is Tony Newell. They call me the voice of regional football Australia. My co-commentator is Graham Gill today. We'll be introducing a little bit later, but right now we have a special guest with us, and it's Ben Hardy, the new coach of North Gambier. Welcome, Ben.
Tony, thanks for having me.
Mate, I've watched you over recent seasons. A lot of the people in the region probably don't know a lot about you. I'll tell them what I know. I think you're a very astute coach. You've worked well under pressure and trying circumstances. Your coaching IQ is very high, great under pressure. Now, you're a new face. We often talk about this with coaches, mate. The players, the supporters, the sponsors have to get to know one person. You as the coach, turn that around, you have to get to know about 100 people around the place. How are you going?
Yeah, it's going well. It's been a really smooth transition so far. I couldn't ask any more from the club and the supporters. They've been awesome in the transition up here for me and my partner as well, so it's been great.
And just talking about the on-field stuff, close game, lost by 3 points and a win in the first round, but do you bring in a whole new game plan, or do you tinker with what was here already?
Well, listen, I've been pretty lucky. I come in to bring in my own game plan, but knowing Justin McConnell beforehand, I knew roughly the game plan that he played, and it's been a really smooth transition for us. And so I'd say that it's been a bit of a bit of a meld from both. But yeah, definitely have my game plan over it, so it's been good. And
talking about that game plan, is it a set game plan that you bring in and the players have to fit into it, or do you design the game plan around what you've perhaps seen over pre-season, the playing personnel that you've got? There's can it go either way there? Which way do you prefer there?
Yeah, I prefer probably to mould it my way, just because I feel like it can have success, and I back my coaching ability. But we've seen a couple of things over pre-season that might not have worked, that we've just twinkered with over the time. So yeah,
a couple of players to watch today. You recruits Cam Orlett, saw a bit of him last year, best on ground in the grand final. Old Iggy's flag, forward mid. What can you tell us about Cam and how he's fitted in?
Yeah, Cam's great. I knew him before I met him. Obviously, I watched that grand final, and he was a star in that grand final. And we've had a really good relationship coming up here, and he's been giving me a bit of what they did at Iggy's, and I've been giving a bit of what I've learnt over my time. And he's going to have a great year, and he's probably a little bit unknown at the moment, but he'll get known pretty quickly.
Fantastic. We'll keep an eye on him today as well. And Toby McAllister, Flagstaff Hill, 5 premierships, a little bit at Goodwood as well.
Yeah, he's a very handy player. He's a full-back. He's demanding of his players, and he just sets up the play, and it'll be interesting to see how that works today for his first game in this league, so it'll be good.
And is it Mitch Kelton that you've got from basketball?
Yeah, he's come to me, and one of our players knew him. He moved down here as a teacher, and they said, just have a look at this guy, he's never played before. He's not the best kick, but we just want him to give us a contest in the ruck, and takes a few marks, he'll give us some handballs. So yeah, fantastic.
And I guess personally and discussing with the team, what are the expectations? You and I have spoken about this. If you've got a good enough team, you think the personnel's there, can you push them a little bit? Can you demand things, and can they reach those things that you're asking? What are your expectations at the moment?
The expectations is that this game plan is going to take a little bit of a transition period. The processes will take a little bit, but we've got the right mix of maturity and age and youth, to really push some sides this year. And today's going to be a great test to see where we're at as a club.
Fantastic, Ben. And I know you're certainly the type of guy that can get that out of their players. And I've seen you work under pressure, and I think your relationship building is also fantastic, and feedback and a lot of those little things, not just the game day stuff, but off the field. But, mate, they're in the rooms, 2 or 3 minutes to go, they're lathered up, they've done the warm-up, they're all in the circle, the coach walks into the middle of them. What's the final message? Especially, it's almost like a finals feeling today. Yeah. What's the final message today, mate?
For us, it's that how do you want to be remembered? Your Guernsey's given to you and it's taken away at the end of the day. How do you want to be remembered? And for us, it's that there's no place to hide out here. It's the biggest stage, the biggest day, other than the grand final. How do you want to be remembered? And you don't want to be found out hiding.
Beautiful, mate. And special, both teams have got the special jumpers made up for Anzac Day. A couple of your sponsors, I see Stuckey Electrical Contractors. Can you remember them off the top of your head?
Yeah, Stuckey Electrical's been great. Obviously KFC, Faster. We're really lucky here at this club to have a massive range of sponsors, so we're really lucky to have that helping our club move forward.
All right, Ben. Well, thanks so much for coming down and fitting us in for the day, mate. We wish you all the best today and for the season, mate. We'll keep a close eye on things, and all the best going out there, and have a great day coaching.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Well, folks, that was very special for the coach to come and join us pre-game, and we've got a fair bit going on today in the pre-game with the Anzac Day ceremony, and as we said, both jumpers will be specially made up for the Anzac Day. As I mentioned earlier, fantastic to come down and meet local people here, and a man that's probably very well known to a lot of people in the region, and he's standing here chomping at the bit to get on, and he's a sensational man. We've had a fair bit of a chat the last few days about this league and the region and so on, and joining me is Graham Gill. Welcome, Graham.
Thanks, Tony. Great to be here, mate, and it is a wonderful opportunity. This is a magnificent venue. Vansittart Park is so just important to our whole region down here. It is by far and away the epitome of sporting grounds. Goes back in history where there used to be a cycling track around the outside.
Oh, right, yes.
As a young fella, it was always difficult when you were playing on a wing. If you got pushed over the boundary line, you got scrapes and bruises, but it was great to be here. And look, the crowd today is building up already. You know it's a great crowd. When driving in, you nearly hit 4 or 5 netballers, so you've got to be careful there, mate. It is a fantastic crowd, and the town and the community get right behind what happens here between North and South every year, and it is quite amazing, mate.
All right, well, let's have a look. First of all, we'll have an overview, and then we'll bring it right down into the day. And last season, I did a bit of homework. North Gambier, they were 7-8 win-loss, 4th in the home and away. They finished there, and South Gambier 13-2 win-loss, and they finished top at the end of the home and away.
It was an interesting season last year, I must admit, and North Gambier, they played a lot of senior players, and it's a totally revamped side this year, so this is going to be really exciting. But North Gambier have been up around that top 3 to 4 positions consistently for the last 6 or 7 years. South Gambier, well, you just look at their history. They are an amazing premiership side. They hold the records for down here for the amount of premierships they've won. Last year, they didn't quite get the chocolates, even though they got to the big dance. But South Gambier, a very young side, in the sense that they've been able to retain players. And if you go through their list, Tony, you'll see that South Gambier have a lot of second and third generation players, a lot of family players. It is really quite pleasing to see in regional areas, and they've still kept those kids coming through. And
that is a huge thing. We'll touch on that in a moment, just about how important the juniors are for both teams. But continuing on last season, North won the second semi-final by 12 points over East Gambier, lost the prelim by 43 points, a bit of a hiding there to Millicent, the eventual premiers, and South defeated Millicent 37 points in the first semi, straight into the granny, and then they lose the grand final, so a big turnaround by 35 points.
It was, and the game against Millicent for South was pretty intense. I can tell you I was there. It was a very, very physical game, and I don't think that went in South's favour. They, once again, they're a younger side last year. Obviously, they've matured a lot more this year, but last year they took players in there with a bit of injury and a little bit of concern that probably 2 or 3 of them shouldn't have played. The other problem, I guess, with South Gambier having so much depth is that they had all of their sides just about in the grand final. So they didn't have the players to draw on. They were already committed to other games, including in the under-16s playing 2 South sides against each other in a grand final.
Wow.
It's unheard of, but that's what happened. So it's one of those clubs, look, they'll fight back from that. We've seen the way they've started this year. But South Gambier, never take anything away from them, and we just heard then the siren for the...
yes, just talking about that depth. You see they're 140-point winners, 26 goals, 7, 163 over North, 3 goals, 5, 23, so pretty comprehensive. And I was talking to a few people around the ground today, and we're talking about the depth and, who's around the place, and you look at the scoreboard there and you think, well, South have got a fair few there to choose from. You often need probably about 25 to 30 in your squad to really have a good go as you go deep into the season if there happen to be injuries and things.
Yeah, definitely, Tony. You've got to have a probably 35 in your A-grade list really under today, and even more so now with our old friend COVID, that, by the time you lose one, you lose three when you've got a COVID case within your club.
Yes.
So your A-grade squad, no matter where you are in Australia now, you've really got to expand it out to about 35. So, and then you've got to work that right through all your depth. And if you look at what happens even in the AFL level, we really need to make that effort now to put these senior squads together and get approval to have more on your list as a standing thing. So, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, so we're going to be undertaking some of the proceedings in a moment that'll be breaking into the broadcast, but I like to look at, you come into these regional areas and you look at this crowd today, and I played a lot of country footy in Victoria and South Australia and been around it a lot, and it just gets you going when you walk into this sort of thing. And there's a gentleman about to start now,
so we're about to start the proceedings here, which is Kevin Douglas, is the man out there in the suit. Kevin Douglas, for those that know, he's locally known as KD. Is a fantastic footballer down here. He's a league medalist in 1974 with West Gambier Football Club. Coached and played in several premierships for South Gambier. I think he came from West Adelaide originally, or Norwood. I'm not 100% sure on that. It was a bit before my time. But, 74, he was absolutely, I was fortunate enough to be in the same team a couple of years later, so in the same club, that's for sure. And it was a great man, and he certainly handles a lot of this, that's for sure. Both the clubs are out there now. South Gambier seniors are out there having a run around just to get a warm-up. They are going to line up for the celebrations.
And it's interesting, it's a long time to wait now. Very respectful, of course, for Anzac Day, but there's still, 20 minutes before the start of the game. And coming back to this community, today is more than a game,
yes.
Whether it's the Anzac Day or not, but just a country football game. It's more than a game, it's a community event. We entered the ground today, myself and the producers and cameraman, and it was just buzzing. So people, you go up to the canteen, it's a chance for a lot of people to catch up on the week, but you hear about, it might be the business, it might be, some people like the gossip, and it might be sport. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. And the community of sport offers support. It's a welcoming environment. It's a positive culture, friendship, and a chance to chat. So how important is that for teams and supporters, Graham?
Well, I think not only just for the teams and the supporters, Tony, but it's actually the whole community, as you mentioned earlier. And you're right, you've got a few of the old farmers out here. You've got some wearing red and white of South Gambier and a few of the others wearing the yellow and black of North Gambier. And they'll be sitting here having a chat about the cattle prices and, what's happening in the local markets there. They'll be talking about the shops down the main street and, who's involved in what coffee shop at the moment. But it's more about what they take away from the game as well, because it gets very, very tribal, I can assure you. We'll have to be careful with some of the feedback on the mics later on.
And it can affect the whole
definitely,
all those people for the whole week, isn't it? It's not just till 5 o'clock today. So just about to come out now. This might be a set play. North might be a little bit late out. Upsetting proceedings, who knows?
Yeah, it would surprise me because they stand around out there for a while. It gets a bit nervy and that, and a bit jittery, and you've already done your warm-ups, and you start losing your focus. So, look, North are actually probably on a good thing here. They've got the netballers and everyone lined up as well, which I think is brilliant. The fact that now we do have, and have had for many years now, that combined netball football club, and without one, the other really would not survive.
Yes, and they follow each other around, don't they, which is fantastic. Yes. So Nick McInerney, number 2 there, the captain, just, you walk out onto the ground first. Then it'll be interesting to see what they do after the ceremony. They'll probably come back and then line up and go and do all that, because South Gambier have already done a bit of a warm-up, had a trot around, just get a feel of the ground, the size of the crowd, all that sort of stuff.
It does kind of surprise me, I'll be honest with you. That's a little bit unusual to see the side just stroll out like that. They've just sort of strolled out North Gambier and just mingled out in front of the girls, and whereas South ran out onto the ground and then did a bit of a warm-up sprint and laps. But to each their own. North Gambier obviously getting themselves all set, and these new Guernseys, especially created for today, they a fantastic job, that's for sure. They do look absolutely brilliant, and the umpires now doing the same thing, just sort of strolling out in the ground there, and It's one of those things with a couple of probably the two of the most experienced umpires in the Western Border area with Bruce McLaughlin and Barney Seeger. Bruce, I'd hate to think I couldn't count how many games Bruce has umpired, I can assure you. And when he's not falling off push bikes, the big fella, he's a very, very good sound umpire. And Barney Seeger, it's a bit of a surprise pick by my books, in my opinion, to have Barney out there today. So he did a game up at Millicent on Saturday.
Okay. Looks for the petrol tickets towards the end. And Dave?
Well, Dave Crail, here's another one. He's been around for a lifetime and very, very good and astute umpire, Dave, that's for sure.
All right, we'll just take a break now, go to proceedings.
I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today and pay my respect to their elders past and present. League officials, umpires, RSL representatives Mr Peter Broon and Mr Ian Summers, RSL guest Captain John Salmons, RAN. It's a very special day, Anzac Day, a chance to meet, to reflect, to remember, a chance to say thank you to all Australians and New Zealanders who have served in wars, conflicts and peacekeeping missions. RSL Vice President Mr Peter Broon to come forward.
Thank you, Kevin. Today, on this special day, please join with the veterans of the Mount Gambier community in remembering Tony Casadillo on this Anzac Day. As you play for his medal today, I ask you to play with honour and respect for each other. To the netballers, I ask that you remember Shirley Underwood, OAM, as you play for her Anzac Day medal. During the minute's silence, after sounding the last post, I urge you to spare a thought not only for Lieutenant Tony Casadillo, whose life was tragically cut short in Vietnam in 1968, and Shirley Underwood, but could I ask you to remember the 103,000 young veterans who paid the supreme sacrifice in the service of our country. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Thank you. Can you please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem, today sung by North Gambier women's senior footballer Chloe Perryman. Chloe played yesterday in the grand final, and she also is a very proud granddaughter of past serviceman Sergeant John Mitchell, Army number 4/1495. Thank you, Chloe.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair, in joyful strength, and let us sing. Advance Australia fair.
Can I ask the two captains to come forward? From South Gambier, Brett O'Neill. From North Gambier, Nick McInerney. To toss the coin today, Captain John Salmons, RAN. Captain Salmons is responsible for submarine maintenance and support activities. He initially went to sea in destroyers but developed an interest in submarines in 1997. His interest has taken him and family overseas and to many Australia destinations. In 2015, he was promoted to captain to take up the position in Adelaide. Please welcome Captain John Salmons. Brett, and Nick, Captain John, and Brett will call. All yours. We'll go down there. Thank you all. Good luck to both teams. A reminder, at the end of the game, we have the presentation of the Tony Casadillo medal. Please stand for that.
Welcome back to our viewers, and wasn't that just sensational? Sends a shiver up the spine for sure, Graham, and you know, I've never seen a toin cost done like that.
Yeah, no, it was very impressive, actually, I must say, and the captain, to his credit, certainly got a bit of height with it, and I think once again it's great to see. I was looking over to the right, to the southern end of this ground, and there was two kids in particular. They're only little munchkins, but they stood there silently the whole time, and very, very respectful. And unfortunately, you know, you always get a few that don't quite understand the meaning of it. But to those two kids, their parents and family, congratulations, well done. That was impressive. And how good was Chloe? Just a local girl.
Yes.
Played in a football grand final yesterday and comes out and sings the national anthem today. So well done to Chloe.
Yeah, very. And there she's walking in front of us with a bit of a support from her friends, and that was a magnificent job to the young lady. And we come back to the discussion earlier as the teams warm up now, but we talked about how important it is for teams and supporters in the community, and everyone gets here and has a chit chat. It's an interesting note. When the game starts, there are 200 coaches behind the fence.
Isn't there what? Plus some, and then plus that's not counting the 15,000 listening to us either
Yes.
at the moment, John. So look, it is quite impressive that that as you say, there's always a myriad of coaches out there and about. So it's wonderful to see. The community just gets behind these games so much. It's absolutely magnificent.
And we talk about these two teams and teams in the league as well. There's rivalry, there's combat, there's tactics, and have a look at the match.
Well, the rivalry
review
you talk about goes back in history, Tony, because North and South have had some absolutely belters over the years, and personally, from a family point of view, 1968, which is when the late great Tony Casadillo passed away in Vietnam. My family moved to Mount Gambier because my father was appointed coach of North.
Yes.
And then I grew up playing junior footy for South. So it's an amazing era, an amazing area to compete. And the region is just so built on that rivalry. It does get very, very tribal, I can assure you.
And it continues into 2022. And as we said, it's been a long time for the players to warm up now. We look at round 2 last week, North Gambier, because they only lost by the 3 points to West Gambier. And a couple of players to watch today. Hamish Telford, we've got him as number 17. Number 34 is Sam Egan. Justin McConnell, well, the evergreen Justin McConnell, number 33. I'd assume he's in the long sleeves. He always wore them when he was down at Glenelg. He is. 33, Justin McConnell with 3 goals as well. And Sam Stafford, number 21. So those two players, both in the best players twice, 2 weeks in a row. Round 1, they were 22-point winners. And South Gambier, Graham, what can you tell us about their lead-in?
South Gambier, the beauty of South Gambier, once again, is with their depth. And as we've mentioned, to number 10, Brock Kedding. Now, Brock is one of these very, very rough and tough, get in and out sort of under players. And you'll find him, you'll find him at the bottom of the pack most of the times. Robert Hine, look, Robert's a young player, very much only still a kid. Colby Munro, well, Colby was in the interleague side last year in the juniors, and he's another one of these wingers. And Todd Reid has been around for a few rounds now, but number 11, Todd Reid, he's going to be a player to really keep your eye on. You mentioned about Sam Stafford being from North Gambier Ruckman. I think the unfortunately thing is this week is Robert Hine's older brother, who's normally the Ruckman for South, is out with a serious injury from the first round. So it's going to be interesting how the ruck contests pair up here. I think North will have the edge in the ruck, but South Gambier's on ballers are going to be very, very intense, and that's going to create the play, because if Justin McConnell gets there anywhere, as we all know from Justin, if he's got 5 yards in front of him he can run to, he'll get there, and he's so deadly with his kick. It's going to be very, very hard to keep Justin down, that's for sure.
And a bit of a party atmosphere here, people dancing on the ground, the music's roaring, the old DJ's next to us having a ball, he's earning his money. And the other thing that we look at, we mentioned the central umpires, goal umpires today are Levi Seeger, son of, I believe,
yes.
And Jaden Watts, and the boundary, a relative of mine, young Zach Shanks, so I'll be keeping an eye on him. Jacob Salmon, they call him the Fish, with all due respect.
Junior Fish, because his father was a former premiership captain of South Gambier.
There you go, Cooper Harris and Colby Cole. As we said, North Gambier won the toss, going to the left of screen, and the weather today at the moment fine. I think we're expecting about 23, 24, Graham.
At the moment, and there's not a breath of wind either, and that'll probably pick up a bit later with that south easterly comes in usually about 4ish, 4:30. So that's that way, mate. That's over your right shoulder.
Oh, beautiful! I need to know that. I hope they've got a light in here. We're going to get dark too.
We'll be right, mate. Look, our futures are that bright. We don't need lights. We'll be right.
Beautiful. I love South Gambier. Have already broken away from their huddle, and North have just been in that huddle for the last few moments. It's funny as a player, do you actually remember what was said by the coach, maybe at three-quarter time breaks and this sort of stuff? They all have a last little bit of rev up, but the work should have been done. What do you think might have been said there?
Well, I reckon with South it would have been, knowing Braden Kane, their coach, it would have been along the lines of, look, we know our jobs, we know what we've got to do. The main thing we want to do today is be respectful and have fun. With North, I don't know the coach very well, but knowing Nick, I tell you now, Nick will absolutely give them the McInerney. He will give them the bake and say, we are here, we've got pride in our jumpers, pride in yourselves, and we're here to do our best, and make sure you do it.
So McConnell's starting in the middle there by the looks of it, so a mature head.
Yeah.
Two players with long sleeves, 29 there, of course. Dylan Munn. You might be able to pick the other two out. Number 2, of course, is the captain there, Nick McInerney. And, of course, the ruck for South Gambier, number 33 there, Robert Hine.
Yeah,
You've got
Heine
Jake,
is...
Jake Tenty in the middle, James...
Yeah, Propotny.
I'm going to have fun with that. And Mitchell Sims. So, yeah, very quickly before we start there, sorry, I cut in there.
That's right. I was just about to say, with Justin and Dylan, both of them are very seasoned in regards to starting on the ball as a ruck rover and a rover. Dylan played most of his junior football back in the full back line's half-back line, so he's very, very good at reading the ball. And as we know, Justin McConnell's a bit of a freak, and he will play extraordinarily hard there. He normally sets himself up from there, waits for about 10 minutes to go in each quarter, then you'll find him moving down to the forward line.
Might snag a few goals. Doesn't take himself off the ground, eh?
No, he never has. No, I've only known him about 15 years, so I haven't seen it come off the ground yet.
All right, so umpire holds the ball aloft. All the talk is done, and we are away in the big clash. Up it goes. McConnell it is. Charging through and taking the ground by big James Propotny. And we'll get another ball up right in the middle of the ground. So umpire just throws that up. Very even in the middle. Another big... could see this 2 or 3 times. You start the commentating and there's 2 or 3 of these ball ups early on. A lot of players around the ball. Bit of a straight line to the left and right. 50 metres off the ball. Player goes down in back play there. McConnell and his own teammate clash there. Tyler Hans.
Sorry, yeah, Tyler. And look, the one thing that you will see with Nick McInerney and basically with anyone in the centre there at the moment, with Toddy Reid for South Gambier, there'll be a lot of niggle against each other there, and they're just having a little bit behind the play now. The ball's gone down to the northern end, which is North Gambier's scoring side. Bit of a fluke kick off the right there. Didn't see the player that did it. It's from a deep in the pocket where the ball's now just dribbled through for the first score of the game. We're only about 45 seconds in, and it's already one behind to North Gambier.
That's Tyler Harris that was 54. So I'm interested in these kick-ins. Normally they give you the first one in tight. The player streaming forward there to get the short one, but they're going to come over the top down towards the wing area. It goes right over the top and putting up the big jukes. Brett Kennedy, towering mark. He's just going to load up. Comes in. Big lot of congestion. Oh, one hand goes up, almost pulling that to ground. The forward player couldn't quite. Umpires have let this go. Good little out there. There's a player out wide. Now he's looking inside. He's going to come down the wing. Very nice, neat left footer. The race is on. Who's got it? Out we come. North Gambier, South Gambier. The race. 2 on 2. Can they work it out? Neither team really getting advantage. Just slung around there was Brett Shepherdson. Over it comes. And he's had a couple of touches already, young Tyler Harris it was. Inside, and they're up now in around centre half forward. All low penetrating kick. 29. I think Dylan Munn.
Correct.
Not so sure he took the mark. I think that was self-preservation.
I think so, and but the run on and the kick was just beautiful from Dylan, and that delivery just amazing once again. A bit of a handball off now. Quick sneaky play to Caleb. I apologise to JP Schultz from North Gambier. Probably should have gone back and had his kick, the young fella for North then, in Toby DeWitt. Toby's a local basketballer, as you can see. There's not much meat on those bones, but he obviously didn't back himself from there. So the ball comes out from the back play there, and South Gambier have it. A rampant wild kick there by South Gambier from the pocket. Goes out wide and out of bounds on the full. We're only a couple of minutes in already. And South Gambier are sort of playing a very defensive game. North Gambier now bring it back into play. Good mark there by our friend Justin McConnell. He's standing in the true centre wing area, coming out wide. And the guy on the mark is Brodie Foster, the South Gambier full forward. So he's following down the ball well. North Gambier, DeWitt once again gets it. He's pushed and shoved. McInerney did that strength, that body in there hard. Good tackle there once again by McInerney. He's right at the bottom of the pack where you'd expect to see him. Umpire comes in and says we'll ball it up, and a good pat on the back there actually from the South Gambier players in respect to Nick. Umpire balls up now. That's McLaughlin. He goes up high with North Gambier's Brett Kennedy taking the ruck. It's good strong work there in the centre. Comes out off hands now out to McConnell again. McConnell comes wide. Chain of handballs now out to Harris again, is it? And little chip inside was probably to the wrong area, and it's a good safe mark to Braden Kane, the coach of South Gambier.
Yeah, so he had that look inside, but you've got to have a little bit more of a peripheral vision. So down he comes, the half forward flank player on his own, just standing on his own there, and that's Brodie Foster. Looking around now. Leads are coming. Can we get a zigzag lead? There's a player on his own just out here to the right in the pocket. He's held on to this for an awful long time. In it comes. That's a great set of dukes there. The man with the ponytail. Around he comes, and this is Hamish Stevens. Read my own handwriting in a moment. So Hamish Stevens probably on the 50, I'd say. So he's looking to pass it off. There's a lead given. Both teams have been cut off coming in square. Over that goes now. All the on-ballers are going to get caught out here because they're all behind the ball. So they're real race 2-on-1 and winning out. North Gambier player. Hurried left-hand handball. Umpires let it go. Player on the left foot comes around. Oh, touched on the line. That is great work. Hamish Telford it was, had the kick. Very fast transition, Graham.
Yeah, very was, and it was great to see actually the player there, Ortlip. I hadn't seen him before. Number 12 for North Gambier did exceptionally well there. Maybe a little bit of a lucky throw at the end, but great work. Ball comes back into play now. South Gambier tackled hard there by number 45 for North Gambier and Toby DeWitt once again. And I'll tell you, Toby, for not much meat on him as I mentioned, but he's doing a great job down there for North Gambier with his defensive forward work. Ball up now, still in that forward pocket for North Gambier. Can't get it out. South Gambier struggling hard now. Sort of dribbled out by James Propotny now, and it goes over the boundary line. This is where that sometimes controversial free kick comes in of last touch. But this time it's going in North's favour. So North Gambier about the half-forward flank looking for some leads in the centre. Big kick through there, looking for... Oh, nice strong mark there. And good bit of work by North Gambier with their movement, that's for sure, Tony.
Yeah, so Brett Kennedy, he's had a bit of it as well. And this is big Sam Stafford, who we thought may have been in the ruck, but he's down forward at the moment. He's going back a terrible long way, or a good long way, if you like. Bit of the Ben Brown run-up. Has a look at him. Oh, he's going to be a left footer, is he?
He is a left footer, Sam, but a beautiful left
Tell you
foot.
what, he's dobbed it too. That's a nice kick, and they get around him. Bit of the spirit, and it's taken around about 10 minutes there to get that first goal. So they're on the board now. 1 goal, 3 they are. And as we often say, that nerves and adrenaline, you say to yourself, oh, can I get the first touch? And ball's moving around, and takes a little bit, that first 10 minutes, nerves and adrenaline, but you've got to get through 100 minutes. So back in the middle, they'll load up again here. North Gambier player to the left, South Gambier player free, number 41. Mitchell Sims is free just at the back of this pack to the left, which then means that there'll be a player free for North Gambier. So it's game plan versus game plan rather than matching up. So it comes out this side. Oh, player just fumbled that ball, couldn't get it out. Oh, turned around there, good smother. Just a big ruckman's bullocking in. Oh, 2-on-1 charging in there was Jake Tenty. Out it comes now. They're out on this on this side wing, going into the pocket. Player used the body really well there and just punches it over, and he's had a little bit of it as well. Toby DeWitt. Good lead-up player from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I think so, and I think Toby's got that little bit extra speed over his opponent there, but still just a little bit of stattery in his run-up, but ball's in now by the boundary umpire. Comes down, McInerney gets away with it, but there's a free kick being found. Play the advantage, says the umpire. Everybody stopped. Nick McInerney didn't know. He kept running straight towards goal, and that's his first for the day, and I'll tell you, that is something that he is absolutely brilliant at, Nick McInerney. He can read the play very, very well, very strong, but that beautiful running goal there, it is nice to see them once in a while.
And Graham, he did start on this side of the pack, and he went through, got in front of the South Gambier player, took off, kept going. He was in free space. The umpire blowing the whistle. I don't think he even stopped to see which way it went. He just kept going, and well, when those two big white posts come up, why wouldn't you?
Well, that's the whole idea, isn't it, of the game. Get the big balls through the big posts and most you win. So far North have started off very, very well in that regard. So anyway, we're back in the centre now. The ball's about to go up, and it's North Gambier ruckman Brett Kennedy. He's been very strong in the middle there, but South Gambier have got the loose ball out now. Lovely little chip kick forward to Foster for South Gambier, the former Century goal kicker, both here in the Mid-South East, and also champion full forward up in Darwin for a couple of years as well. So he's a bit of a journeyman, is Al Brodie Foster. Played all his junior football here at South Gambier, but an absolutely magnificent kick of the ball.
Get the journey, you reckon?
Oh, I've done the
Commentator's
journey.
curse?
Yeah, probably have now, actually, because I've got high raps on this kid. Comes in now, very deliberate.
Oh, wow.
And he shanked it off to the right. Yep, my apologies there, Brodie.
Decent leg on him, though, hasn't he?
Oh, he's a beautiful kick of the ball normally, so yeah, you're right with the caller's curse.
So there's McConnell giving the ball back, and he's supposed to be down the field as an on-baller, so he's obviously covering a lot of ground. They're going to go out to the, I thought they might have gone out the other side. That's a long kick into the centre of the ground, just that running out of the square there. They're away here. They've got to play a free if they can get it to him, and that's Cam Ortlip, who's chasing it now. He's been caught up to by the South Gambier. Gets around, bit of speed, and just runs out of bounds as he goes to kick the ball. That's what'll happen. You see those two big white posts, and you get a bit excited with it. Couple of interchanges now by North Gambier. We're probably about 15 minutes in. We can't give you the scoreboard, hasn't quite been running. It's up and running now, so probably about 15 minutes in as we speak. And
well, the two little on-ballers are off at the moment, and Liam Delaney for North Gambier, I think it is. Oh, sorry, I apologise. Kieran Buckley from North
number
Gambier,
77. Jeez.
He's come on. And so the ball comes out wide from a beautiful big long kick out. The weather is absolutely perfect for these long kicks today, Tony.
Yes, no breeze at all. Geez, over it comes, and that's Brock Ketting, one of the better players. Around he comes, gets caught, swung. They like to give back, which they do. That's gone long enough, the umpire says. Let's see if they've got a switch of play. Will they go down the ground? They elect to go down the ground, just not quite inside the 50 now they are, and easily turned over Brett Shepherdson. Now they come square. So this is what I'm interested in. Patterns of play. The full-back runs out. I would never have gone that far in a whole career out of full-back. And away we go. So it's a different game these days. Tim McInerney, he's got the ball. Handballs across. Fast movement of play. Player pretty much saying to players down the ground, give me something. And this is Joel Griffith. So we might see a coast to coast here. They just go in square. Came undone last time. They got away with it this time. Hamish Telford.
Telford has a ball at the true centre wing area, and you're right there, Tony, with the fullbacks. As a former forward, I loved it when the fullbacks stayed back there. So, right, ball comes down now. A nice gentle kick through to Sam Stafford again for North Gambier. He looks inboard. A gentle kick. Didn't quite make the distance. Put Nick McInerney under his captain under pressure. Nick will remember that. Lovely little chip kick looking for, but cut off beautifully by the South Gambier defender in Oliver Thompson. So Thompson has just cut that off now, looking for leads, but North are playing a very tight zone here. I must say, it's pretty impressive. They're bottling South up. The new player, number 29 for South, just come on the ground, and that's Dane Hendrick. He gets caught easily, and then the ball's on the ground. It stacks on the mill, and the umpire, Bruce McLaughlin, said, you've had it long enough, North. That's holding the ball now. So that's a free kick against number 55, Brett Shepherdson for North.
And Bruce wearing the sunglasses today?
Always does.
Ah, beautiful. So in it comes, North Gambier player, put the big jukes up. That's the new player you mentioned. Geez, he put a player under a little bit of pressure there. Either the player called for it or he gave it, one of the two. But he's been caught, and Ethan Chuck is probably doing that as we speak. So Sam Egan it is on the halfback flank, just gives a handball off Jake Schultz. A couple of times I will say they've given to a handball square that hasn't given an advantage. You may as well take the kick. Anyway, it's picked up again by Schultz. He's slung to the ground and caught. A few players wearing the long sleeves here today as South Gambier go. That's a nice body work there. Really like that. Brodie Foster is on an acute angle. Going to have a shot, probably 30 out. Not the highest of goalposts here, I've noticed as well. So you're trying to get a visual on something as a player.
And it is very awkward down that southern end because you've got the high posts of the netting behind you.
Yes.
Going to the bowls club. And it can be distracting. So, but
geez, I'll tell you what, he's kicked that, as ironic as it sounds, too straight. That's out of bounds on the full. So Foster, look, the upside, Graham, there is that he's had the ball in his hand a couple of times. He's obviously beaten 35 other players around the ground to get that ball, but just hasn't been able to convert. Early days.
That's it. And it's run out of fullback this time. No South Gambier defender there. Big long kick down to true centre wing. Telford for North misses it. It goes through his sticky fingers. Handball out of the pack there by South Gambier's number 44, which is Mitchell Sims, and the umpire deems that as a bit deliberate. So Hamish Telford for North, number 17, gets the ball on that trusty left foot, looking for a lead, but cut off strongly, and well done there by South Gambier's James Propotny. James will take that all day long. He'll take those hard hits. He looks inboard now, goes back to the centre, probably a little bit early for my liking because he's bottled his own players up now. They're a bit stuck. But South Gambier's number 23 in Oliver Thompson gets it, goes really long and wide out to the wing. Umpire's calling a free kick there against North Gambier for a block. So South Gambier come back inboard now. A mark taken by Caleb Bound of South. Bound goes straight across the ground, once again looking for and finding Propotny, who's on the opposite wing now. Propotny's a bit stuck again here at the wing. A little chip kick, not going to make the distance. That's a first bounce catch. Better hurry up there. Gets it on now. 36 in Ethan Chuck. Chuck goes onto the right boot looking for Foster. Good body work there, but the North Gambier and fullback in Jakey Schultz brings it to ground.
So they're having a good battle down there. Schultz is looking for the switch. There's a couple of players pointing across there. It's almost dance choreography there. There's 4 players stepping across in line. Up it comes. He's at a bit of it now. James Propotny comes forward now with a penetrating kick, and he too has missed, and that is out of bounds on the full. We're starting to see at the moment, Graham, early days where a team will have 2, maybe 3 possessions. It'll get turned over and it will come back. It'll go back the other way and then it'll come again. So here we go, loading up. McConnell right in that deep back pocket as an on-baller. He's going to get it back. Pretty easy one. This is the one that needs to hit, but if you kick it to a 50-50, this is what can happen. He's got a good set of jukes, this lad, Dane Hendrick. And good vision. Couldn't quite get it to the 2 players there. It was sort of falling in between Liam Delaney and Brett O'Neill. Brett O'Neill being the captain, you might have left it for him to take there.
You would have thought so, wouldn't you? But on the game next week. But up it goes now.
Oh.
Good jump up there by
Ryan Cool.
Ryan Cull, and that's a nice kick forward there. O'Neill once again for South Gambier, bends his back, gets right over the top of the ball, but the weight of numbers is just against him so much, and North Gambier just see it dribble over the boundary line in that forward pocket.
2 captains there having a little bit of a push and shove against each other.
That's historic, that's for sure. I can tell you that will. Just keep an eye on that one for the rest of the day. That'll be fun to watch.
There it is again, 2 and 5. You can see them right behind the pack here, both on the inside. You like to see that from your generators.
And both interleague players, and great teammate. But a free kick's been found there for in the back for number 12 in Jake Tentai for South Gambier. He's going to have a kick probably about, by the time he releases the ball, probably 48 metres out. Reasonable angle, but he should be, well, I'm not going to put the curse on him more. He runs wide to the left, and that's exactly where the ball's gone and where he ran. Nobody in particular. Ball hits the ground now with about 20 metres out, but good defensive work by North Gambier. Sees the ball run out now to Hamish Telford, centre half back. Telford gets it on to Dylan Munn right in the true centre area. Lovely kick forward, looking for his forwards up there by North Gambier. Nobody can get it. Stacks on the mill and scraps everywhere at centre half forward for North Gambier. Comes out now by DeWitt with a little handball to number 34, Colby Munro for South. He dribbles it forward and it's back into the centre where O'Neill for South gets a beautiful hand pass onto Taylor Saffin. Saffin onto a flat punt, moving forward, makes it difficult for his forwards, but smart play, kicks it forward to Foster, who had to stop and wait, gets onto his right foot now, spins around, beautiful goal there, well and truly done. Thank you. But a great goal there, and it's moving beautifully.
So they're on the board. 1 goal, 1-7, 2 goals, 3-15. Geez, I'll tell you what, they've had their opportunities though. They've had it down there a few times and a couple of out of bounds on the fulls, scoring opportunities. But I'll tell you what it has been the last 5 minutes. It's all been South Gambier down this end to our right, hasn't it?
Well, it certainly has, and South Gambier in particular have just battled so hard from the centre getting it forward, but to their credit, North's defence have held it up. So it's up
I like
again.
the look of young Ryan Cull, is it?
Yeah, he's
number
a good
44.
kid,
he's just an athletic guy, and here's a free kick going the way. Geez, he's a competitor, Nick McInerney. It's a free kick. The whistle's gone. He still doesn't want to give it up.
Oh, he won't. Not easy, that's for sure. He'll make it hard. So it goes out to O'Neill for South Gambier. O'Neill gets it, drills it in forward, but Foster gets tumbled down. That man, once again, for North Gambier, O'Connell, 1, 2, 3 handballs out now. Good running. Sees it out to number 77 of North in young Kieran Buckley. He goes out to the wing where a South defender can run across and just punch it out, and it'll be another ball in. It is a very aggressive sort of game physically, but very smart play at the moment by both sides. They're both keeping their heads well, but it'll be competitive for a good 4 quarters, that's for sure.
Just see the smarts there. McConnell's now on his own to the right of this pack. Maybe he won't get it, just watching. But he jogged from this position where the ball's going to come back to, ironically, from the halfback flank to get across there. So his fitness is fine. So they load up here, South Gambier. So they've come out to the fat side, we call it, and repelling here. Oh, not able to get the handball out. That's very well done. And that's a free kick. That is sensational work rate there by Braden Kane.
Braden, the coach of South Gambier.
Coach, yep.
Great work there by him to get the ball bottled in, but the kick's going to be taken by Braden himself. And number 18, this will be an interesting kick. North Gambier have set up a zone already, so they're expecting the ball to come straight out. So,
all right, so
pretty confident in their back line, that's for sure.
Let's have a look. Kane comes in. Wriggles around and just out to the right. So another point on the board there.
At least we know why Nick McInerney, the North Gambier coach, opted to kick to the northern end to start with, because there must be a breeze or something, or the angle of those goalposts. So. But Justin McConnell now taking the kick-outs from full-back has been a bit of everywhere, that's for sure. He's looking for an option, can't find one, tries to play on quickly, and finally finds one in number 5, Toby McAllister for North Gambier. McAllister right in that back right pocket. Little chip kick back out there, finds number 34 in Sam Egan. Egan looks back inboard. They're mucking around a lot back there, North Gambier. If they don't move it along soon, South will have them bottled up. McConnell screaming at him from halfway here, saying, turn it round, you're on the wrong side, guys. But Jake Schultz from North Gambier has it, still in that, now in the left back pocket for North Gambier. Can't find any good options, so he just goes long down the line, looking for and hoping for anyone. And 3 South Gambier players there have taken possession, but the ball's stepped over the boundary line, and the score's now 2-3-15 to 1-2-8. And I've got to say, Tony, it's a bit of a drawn-out game this first quarter, that's for sure.
It was interesting what you were saying, because they loaded up out here. Justin McConnell and Toby DeWitt were both out here, along with Tyler Harris. So they had 3 fairly good players down this side of the ground and couldn't get it out here. And it becomes almost predictable if you just kick it down that one side and over into a pack. And see, McConnell, you can see in picture now, is just walking in from over this side of the ground. Up it goes. Nice tap forward, but taking it was McInerney again. A lot of congestion, as you said, and probably with that congestion you see a little bit of pressure and then you get skill errors. Now they come inside. Brett O'Neill just holding it up, which gives time for players to get back. Up it goes. Nice
Great
kick
move.
in. Oh, and he's grasped it. He's the only player chasing that ball.
That's
So
Kane
round
again.
he comes, Braden Kane. Took a long time to get rid of it, and another grab there to North Gambier, and that, of course, is Nick McInerney. So we come into quarter time, 2 goals, 3-15 to 1 goal, 2-8. It's very hot in the kitchen as we speak. We'll go through the goal scorers and who you may have seen as the better players there.
Well, I think Nick McInerney, with his 1 goal, the way he went about it for North Gambier, and his tenacity at the ball certainly has stood out at this point in time, in my opinion, for the first quarter. Probably matched once again by either Propotny for South or Brett O'Neill, who's co-captain. So it's very, very tricky to see who's doing what there. So very impressive game by Nick McInerney, I think. Justin McConnell, his usual self, has been very, very present, and he just doesn't seem to be getting slower. It's only the first quarter, but he's ever present, that's for sure. And to have a man of that calibre out there for you, it's just a pretty impressive game to watch. But North Gambier have certainly had the better of that quarter. I think their discipline, as far as the ball handling goes, much improved. Much improved.
So if we look at some of the statistics, the inside 50s, well, North Gambier, especially the first half of that quarter, they dried up a little bit, probably the last 5 or 10 minutes. So inside 50s were 9-5, and South probably spent a couple there with the out of bounds on the full that could have been conversions. And as we saw that last kick come in as an inside 50, and it was marked and repelled. So inside 50s 9-5 at a lot closer on the board. Clearances, well, we've got clearances as 2-all from the centre bounce. The clearances around the ground, North Gambier are winning that 3-1. Tackles just 2 and 4 we've got at this point, and our hit-outs are 3 and 4, so quite even on the last couple. Other goal scorers, of course, Sam Stafford kicked that 1 goal as well, so a couple in there.
And Brodie Foster for South.
Brodie Foster for South.
And look, I guess the thing is that South Gambier, they look almost a little bit shell-shocked, a little bit disorientated. They probably should have been more in control of the ball. North Gambier's game plan has got so much the better on everybody. I think that the tactics that North are using is absolutely suiting the conditions perfectly. They're just holding the ball off. They're still running it up. but they're running in 2s and 3s. And I'll tell you one guy who did impress me is for North Gambier, every time he got near the ball was Cameron Ortlip. Now, you've seen him before. I hadn't seen him as a player before, but quite impressive the way he's very sleight of foot and sleight of hand.
And good set of jets. Geez, he lined up over that other side, didn't he? He said, I'm on here. He didn't know the ground. He stepped out of bounds, but he was running into those big sticks as we speak. So
and he was pulling away from the opposite player. So once he gets to know a few of the grounds, he's going to be very, very hard to control out of that half-forward flank sort of wing area, that's for sure.
And as I mentioned, Toby DeWitt, especially in the first half of that quarter, just a very good lead-up. There's not much of him, but he leads up to the ball well, and you only need a metre, maybe half a metre in front of your opponent, and that's enough for time and space. You get the jukes out, and you're off. And Tyler Harris at times. And then, probably that's it through that list. We come across the South Gambier, as you said, Propotny playing a good game down there. Brett O'Neill for sure. Brodie Foster, he's if he can stick at it, which I think he will, he's giving them a really good target up there. You've got Kedding, Reid. Tentai, we mentioned several times. I'll tell you who I was impressed with. He's not the speediest guy out there, but he's a big, imposing body. And there. Dane Handrick. And, if he's a new recruit, you come into a team and you're getting used to the mannerisms of your teammates, who's a left footer, who's a right footer, who's the chirpy one, who's going past for a handball. So I can see him being a real asset to this team for sure.
Well Dane's a local, but he's only relatively new to South Senior side in that regard, but he's working exceptionally well with the young ruckman there as well in Robert Hine. The two of them have worked it really, really well. The beauty of it, though, Robert's only a very slight bloke, very thin in that regard, with a great leap on him. But, the big body of Dane Hendrick, you just love to have someone like that in your side. He's pretty smart, too, for a ruckman. Normally there's a bit of, not so sure about the communication. The vowels and the consonants sometimes get mixed up with ruckman, but he certainly showed out there he's been very, very well.
I think the two he gave off that got turned over was he actually saw what was going to happen and gave it off.
Yep.
The players weren't ready at times. And we talk about speed versus tempo. We haven't really seen, I mentioned it in the commentary, we haven't really seen the team get away too often where they can get 3 or 4 in a row or do a coast-to-coast. They'll get down and then it'll come back. You see North Gambier, they are trying to play on, but it tends to be that sideways handball. It's not to the advantage of the team. Sometimes you can put a teammate under pressure. So...
and I think South have been very guilty of that too in that last half of that quarter about handballing to the stationary player. They're not looking for that option over the top and probably go for a longer handball. You get better value seeing it bounce and run towards your goal than what you will be handballing to a guy inside who's inside the field of play and he's stationary. And so they haven't opened that game up yet either side.
And we're going to have a look too once this ball up goes up because you'll be calling from the start there, Graham, and watch the wingers. Because they tend to think they're another on-baller and they come in and you lose width. So you're with Graham Gill for the start of the second quarter.
And up it goes, well thrown up high. They don't bounce him off. Nobody, neither ruckman could get first chance. So it hits the deck once again, stacks on the mill, right on the centre line. And this has been the epitome of this game. It's been very nullified in the centre. Nobody's actually had a high advantage of centre clearances. Throws it up once again, both ruckmen up high. This time it's the South Gambier ruckman in Young Hine. He gets it down, bottled up straight away. Justin McConnell down the bottom as usual. South Gambier now getting the kick away with Propotny, throws it on the boot to no clear target. Pushed out of it was Foster for South Gambier, the full forward up high. Comes back out, series of handballs there. 1, 2, 3 from North Gambier. They're coming across ground now to this western wing, and it's the ball's taken clean mark there, well and truly by number 6 for North Gambier, Tim McInerney. Tim gets it on, follows up his own mistake there, and O'Neill cuts it off for South Gambier. Comes out wide for South Gambier, and Brock Kedding. Kedding gets a nice handball over the top. Oh, lovely dummy there by Taylor Saffin for South Gambier. He kicks into the forward line looking for Hamish Stevens. Stevens can't take a mark, but gets the handball onto the big ruckman we're talking about. And Handrick, the ball goes over the top of the heads. Spun around there, well picked up by the coach in Braden Kane. Throws it on the boot, but it's only through for a behind. And once again, 35 seconds into the quarter, South Gambier a series of handballs, but handballing into trouble.
Yeah, interesting there. Foster actually saw that coming. I thought he might have put his hands up, but he actually very smart. He let that go. for the player coming through. So now we see the tempo that we talk about, just to hold up and it's a long kick, but it's a 50-50 and a bit of a push out there, and he's got away with it, Sam Stafford. So here come the Wildebeests. They all marching down the ground. It goes wide into the forward line. That's a great kick in too, Tim McInerney. So McInerney's going to have a shot from out in this deep in the pocket. Probably about 38, 30 out. 45-degree angle. Very deliberate. Fast movement that time. The long kick, and then they're onto it. So runs in, should know the ground. Kicks, and that's not quite through. The Dukes go up, and there's a grab there, and I reckon that's, is it our man?
Is that Toby
DeWitt, I reckon.
Yeah, big tall Toby.
Oh, he runs around too, likes it. Oh,
no, the
umpire's called him back. I thought he was remonstrating with the goal umpire then. Goal umpire didn't put his hands up, but he's got to come back because the umpire, you see, he's put his hand up. He's called time off. So our timekeepers next to us would be pressing buttons left, right and centre as we speak.
At the moment, and
probably going to do it again. He's already set up sideways, looking for the shepherd from his teammate there, Cam Ortlett.
Still waiting for the ball to come back from the crowd, actually. She's gone over into the...
booted into the Park Hotel. That's what he's done.
Just about. She's gone through the botlow.
Might not get it back the way we're looking.
I think it's out in the middle of the lawn bowls area, out in the new lawn bowls surface out there. They won't be happy with that if someone goes running across on their boots, that's for sure.
I'll tell you, Graham, I think we're going to finish around 5:30 in the dark, and the way this is going, it might be darker. Now the ball comes back.
There it comes.
Finally. He might have to do a warm-up before he kicks this. So the gridiron throw goes back. He's going to turn sideways here. He's had too long to think about it now. Round he goes. And he's kicked the point. So that was a lot for nothing, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? And I guess that can be frustrating when the umpires, we don't know why he called him back, but he did, so such is life.
Wasted opportunity. So let's have a look at the kicking. You see South Gambier, there is a player over in there in the pocket in front of the Dice Constructions. Will they go short? He's got his hands up, so the sun's going to be in his eyes. There's a player charging down this side, down the wing. Doesn't honour it. He's probably sprinted 100 metres, and now three players over this side of the ground are out of play. It's outside 50 though, decent kick. And another ball up over there.
Another scrap and another bit of push and shove between Virgo and Nick McInerney this time. So the ball's trapped out on that wing there, but that man McConnell gets it, feeds a nice little low kick into the forward line. McInerney for North Gambier picks it up, shovels a handball out, but it's intercepted by South Gambier runners, and South Gambier come out wide now. It looks like Harkness out this wing here, number 21 for South Gambier. He fights hard for the ball. Good battle, but he's outnumbered once again, 3-1. North Gambier's running tempo is much higher. Great chase and follow-up by young Harkness. Well done. Tackles for South Gambier and brings number 6, Tim McInerney, down. Silly handball, I would have thought. Wide, brings it, traps a player in once again. South Gambier get the ball, go in back towards the centre now with Ketting. Ketting kicks it in, finds a runner in number 47 in Delaney, was it? Yep.
He's kicked it too.
And young Delaney's kicked his first.
That was well constructed. I'm with you. The going to the boundary side from there here, but they could see the player free. They then brought the ball straight back inside, and around they went. And he just trotted by Liam Delaney there. He didn't sprint. He just trotted by, and they do share the ball very quickly in this modern day game. Gave it to him, turned around and kicked the goal. And I'm a little bit of a fan of that. He straightened up a little bit, but if you can get it around the corner, and why not? If that's your skill level, you don't always have to turn straight to the target. That's the coaching hat on there. Yeah. But anyway, up we go in the middle, and both ruckmen had taken it out of the ruck there. Brett Kennedy, sort of haven't seen a lot of him the second half of that quarter. He really started on fire, so getting it now, Brodie Virgo. Can they get a bit of a run? Oh, players go to ground. Taking off there's the North Gambier player and puts it down the grass. So the Willing here, through he comes again. He's having a pretty good game. He's Tyler DeWitt, but out it goes, straight to the opposition player. And that's number 51. In it comes, and that is Brett O'Neill. Goes long down the wing. He's trying to thread the needle here. 3 on to 1. And nice work there by young Tyler Harris. Around it comes, gives to the big ruckman. That's just a bomb up in the air. Oh, courage required. James Propotny not knowing what was coming. They're just getting on top here a little bit, I'd suggest, South Gambier, with their play. That is a beautiful, it's a risky, but it's a beautiful kick if you can get it to come off. They're going to go diagonally from this half-back flank across to the half-forward flank. And game on now. So Braden Kane picks it up. Going forward a little bit here, but they could be outnumbered. Our player followed that on. That's our last goal kicker. Comes through, has a shot, and he could be a little bit dangerous down there, young Liam Delaney.
Yes, it seems to be that South seem to have been a little bit shell-shocked in that first quarter by North Gambier's pressure, but they are opening up that game now and starting to play their style, which is giving them that bit of run back towards the half-forward area. The kick's in, they've just got to try and get them down a bit lower. They seem to be hanging up in the air a little bit. So kick out now by North Gambier, once again going for distance more than accuracy, straight down the middle here. A good attack on the pack there, but he's hurt. South Gambier player in number 21, which is Alex Harkness, struggles to get up now. The ball's bottled up at the true centre half forward for North Gambier, in half back for South, and the umpire will be bowling up now. So umpire McLaughlin walks in, throws it up now. Two ruckman at it. Good tap there by number 7 in Brett Kennedy for North. Sees the ball come to ground, but South Gambier are the first to recover. Get it up now. Raw fumble there. That's going to pay. Oh, and a bit high possibly. Play on, says the umpire. Good battling there by number 54 and Tyler Harris. He's not much of him either. He's only a little fella, but he wasn't letting that ball go, that's for sure. And number 41 for South Gambier knew he'd made the mistake.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy.
Wasn't very happy with himself at all.
So up it goes, ruckman contest here. He's done that twice now as Brett Kennedy trying to take it out himself. Player goes to ground. Umpire's picked it. South Gambier player. A lot of space in the middle. Comes short to that area, and that's Brett O'Neill. He's going to have a good look around. He's pointing further and further, go to space, make the ground fatter. So he goes out wide because he could see actually what was going to happen after this kick, I reckon. Space has been filled up. Down it goes, exactly to that area. 3 on to 1 again. We've seen a little bit of that. So the South Gambier players setting up certain programs and strategies so they stay out and play the space. As we see, the wingers on that side will be in, and the wingers on this side are in the centre of the ground. Ball just kicked down towards the 50.
Oh, good one.
Well, good work there, and that was Caleb Bowd. We haven't called him much, so just stopping and having a look. He's got to play a free. Now he's covered the fullback, so geez, just touched off the mark. Could be costing him. DeWitt's in there again. He's a competitor, DeWitt, as
Very
well,
much
but just came undone there for South Gambier. As you see the winger come up on this side. There's players about 30 metres to the left, a big pack to the left of this ball. Tap back, can't get it out, so it comes South Gambier's way off a North Gambier player. Now it's 1-on-1. A soccer off the ground will do, and that's from Foster. Gets it forward 10 metres. Strong tackling. They're under pressure here, North Gambier, and you can see that with the kick. Players are just getting a little bit slower through the middle there. Propotny it was, got first to the ball, but couldn't quite get the pedals going because, once again, we see a little bit more congestion by the North Gambier team.
Well, North Gambier are very good at bottling it up, that's for sure, and McConnell's in there now to make sure they keep it. Hine gets his hands onto it first, but picked up by the runners for North this time. Out to McConnell, who he just called, right in the true centre position. Lovely kick. You'd love to have him kicking towards you.
Jeez.
Dropped to his feet straight away, knew he was going to be tackled. Gets it over to Telford. Hamish Telford on that left foot. Beautiful kick delivered to centre half forward. And for North Gambier, is it Ortlup? No, it's not Ortlup, sorry. Who's got the ball there? But
9.
So it's Dylan Munn, 29 or 19?
Could be Reece McLaughlin or Dylan Munn. We'll see in a moment when he celebrates.
I think it's Reece being that young, so it looks like young Reece. Nice approach. Faded to the right, just a tad, maybe just a little bit out of his distance. Yeah, it is young Reece McLaughlin.
Yep.
So for a behind there. Had a nice approach, but little that hop just before he made connection with the balls forced it right.
So let's have a...
About to come out from fullback now. South Gambier looking for it. Signalled it's going to go long. Goes long to this wing here, out to the broadcast wing. Nobody really there to take it for South Gambier. North Gambier, Kieran Buckley once again. He's done pretty well. He's got strong hands, Kieran.
Good set of dukes, wasn't it?
Yeah, and so he looks for a lead. Can't find a clear one, so just bombs it back to where it came from. But the strength of North Gambier's number 9 in Mitchell Kelton, who's just come on the ground, handballs it off to Munn this time, and that was ridiculous. When you're that close, surely. So handball off to Dylan Munn, standing half stationary, threw it onto the right boot, straight out of bounds on the full.
It's just that movement that they don't perhaps need to do. They may have been instructed to get it on quickly, but you see here the difference, the tempo by South Gambier. Cool heads, James Propotny gets it across. It hasn't gone forward, it's gone sideways, but it could be advantageous unless there's a chop off, and there is, and that's Toby DeWitt. So he will line up again. He's really been lively around the forward line. You talk about coaching these days and putting pressure on the ball coming out. He just ran to a spot, and it was almost like he led for that. So DeWitt, in he comes. Let's see. Not too bad a kicking action. He's got hold of it, and another point. So there must be that end of the ground where they kick the points, but another one on the board for North Gambier now. So will they try something different? Yeah, they're on.
They're on, and Foster's moved all the way up to the halfback flank, and he dropped what could have been a chest mark, but it's luckily picked up, and a free kick there to South Gambier. Short kick once again, mucking around, comes into Tentai for South. Oh, what a magnificent leap. Great mark there, and plays on quickly as Toby McAllister for North Gambier. Beautiful mark. Good work there.
There's another one.
Dylan Munn running on now. He's much better on the run than he is stationary. Big kick in, and there's that man once again, DeWitt. What a great mark. Good body on body, and it came right back from that halfback flank there. He's limping off. He's landed awkward after that big mark, but what a great bit of play that was to actually have that runners going through. Dylan Munn, obviously that last kick knew exactly where to put it for DeWitt to get up. Those big, long go-go gadget arms are up, and it was a good mark.
He's not happy, just...
No. Oh!
Geez, he leant back, didn't he?
And DeWitt kicks it like a normal basketballer.
I reckon Toby McAllister might be in a little bit of trouble here. He came off and through the mouth guard about 20 metres there, and you could just see the dejection. I'm not sure that he's had ankle problems previously, but he will keep an eye on that in the back play. So, back round.
And it's back in South Gambier's back pocket after that horrendous kick from the full forward. So it's a beautiful long kick, finding the player out there on the far wing. Comes inboard once again, South Gambier, with a series of handballs. Trying to break people is O'Neill. O'Neill, now picks it up in the centre. He's trying to break a tackle. He's got no one to pass to. Chase down hard, gets it on the boot, just throws it forward. Big battle there for the bodies, and good work by number 2 in Brodie Virgo for South Gambier to keep the ball up forward. Now it's picked up by the North defenders. They're changing the tactics quickly now. Brings it out to this side to Dylan Munn all on his own. Heard footsteps, should have taken what he missed. Comes off hands there now. Long kick into Foster for South Gambier. Beautiful kick, nice and low, and that was well done there by Taylor Saffin from South Gambier. Very experienced half-forward flanker on baller there, and his kick to Brodie Foster was absolutely perfect. Comes in nice.
And aren't they just a couple of times, a fumble, a missed grab like that can be so costly. It's straight down there, shot for goal now.
Certainly has been. Oh. Well, I've got to say, the forward kicking leaves a lot to be desired from the stationary kicking. It's one skill that seems to have gone from the game, and I don't know, it's very, very frustrating when it's the simplest of things is get the big balls through the big sticks, and most you win the game. So why do they keep aiming out wide? Well,
we've got it 2 goals 7 to 2 goals 5, and it's the running patterns. It's 2 points the difference. North Gambier in front in a very low-scoring game as we speak. A lot of pressure out there. You see this often, long kicks but to 50-50s. Yep. Can they get hold of it here? South Gambier player just swung around there. They've come inside. They've got to play a free inside if they can get to him. They can't. North Gambier come out. Fortuitously bounces 2 quick handballs. Across it comes player on his own. He just drifted down there. Couldn't take it. 2 on 1. That's very well done by their South Gambier player, Brock Ketting. Can't hold it up. Number 10 here. Griffith, is it? Gets inside. Poor skill again. Puts it to grass, so we see the turnover. Now that long kick down the ground, and the big 29 there, he's got it. The players streaming by now. They're on fire, and that is a great kick and a great lead by Braden Kane. So it's, he hasn't turned around, so I don't think he's going to pass it just at this point. No. But that quick transition from back to forward, once again, just down here, that poor skill. Quick transition. They've got another shot on goal now off pretty much 2 mistakes by North. But when they run well, and Hendrick it was a great link up through the middle. So coming in now, Kane, 3 steps, puts it up nice and high, and off to the left again. So he's the coach, is he?
That's it.
Do you reckon he'll give himself goal kicking practice on this week?
If they don't all stand out there tomorrow night, no matter what, I don't care what they do for the first 2 hours of training, but nobody goes inside until you get 15 out of 15 shots at goal.
So we see McConnell actually taking the kick in. I reckon he's after the votes today. He's got the long sleeves, a glove on and white boots. I don't know what more he can do. Anyway, held up for a long time by North Gambier through Nick McInerney. He finally gets it on. See, McConnell took the kick in. He's now taken that kick in the centre of the ground. They're off here from the wing, so they've just banged it forward. Players crumbing tight pressure there by South Gambier. Big pack forms. Ball's just dribbling around out the back. And it fell fortuitously through to Toby DeWitt, who gave it across. Hamish Telford it was, around on the left, and he has his first for the day, and you wouldn't believe it. There's a goal.
There is.
Scored. 3 goals, 7:25 to 2 goals, 6:18. 17 and a half minutes into the second quarter down here at
Vansittart. We'll get you used to it by the end of the day.
Could take me till half time to get that right. Vansittart. Anyway, it's not about me. Up it goes, Graham.
Up it goes. Barney Seeger, the umpire, throws it up. Good ruck work, sees the ball hit forward by South Gambier. O'Neill, a little bit of in danger there. He's still pushing hard to get through there, but the ball comes off hands to Brock Ketting for South. Ketting now just pushing it forward, nobody in particular, and it dribbles out over the boundary line. So good pressure by South Gambier. They couldn't take it in their hands, and O'Connell now leads out. It was deemed last man touching once again, so O'Connell gets a kick, little chip kick into the centre, nice little pass once again, finds his mate with the long sleeves, comes out now looking for and finding Stafford goes onto that right foot, long lead kick down there, good lead, couldn't quite hold on to it, the young fella in Brodie Allen for North Gambier, but the ball goes forward now looking for at the back. DeWitt once again picks it up. Another scrubby kick by DeWitt, sees it out through the behind once again.
I was going to say, is he any better on the run than what he is from a set shot? And he was under pressure there. There's physical and mental pressure. That was physical pressure. A set shot is mental pressure.
Yeah, and a lot of it is perceived as well.
Yes.
They're talking themselves out of it, just the way they're running towards the boundary line and the point post instead of running straight at it. But anyway, back into play it comes from South Gambier. Up high, another drop mark, which probably should have been taken, but the big body there of Hendrick for South Gambier, but opens the door up for them. Comes out now looking for a beautiful little hand pass there by 39 to Noah Sims. Noah Sims goes back in forward to the centre, looking for and finding his teammate there in Hind. Looks like he's stopped the players everywhere out to the left. Nobody's telling him. So Brodie Virgo has it. He handballs off to O'Neill. O'Neill now looks to the left looking for a teammate. And there is a true centre half forward. That was a little bit too easy. North Gambier have been caught out here with their interchanges. They've got like 4 running towards the bench. And that opened the true centre half forward up for South Gambier to come in there. And Jake Tentai for South. He's gone back to what should be dead in front. But who knows in today's modern football. But he's come back now to take his kick.
Toby and McAllister there just warming up for North Gambier, trying to stretch there while we're coming in. Ooh.
Nice long kick, but once again drifts off to the left.
A little bit of push and shove after that. He got very close to the man on the mark. So McConnell it is. We see taking the kick. Geez, long, kick. Low, penetrating kick, and big Jordan Hollett it is. Gets it out wide to the poor old trainer. Just about gotten away there. Players are on here in the back play as it goes on. You watch the fight, I'll watch the footy. They come forward now. This is that finish that they need if they want to get a coast-to-coast by North Gambier. Got numbers around the ball. Player just standing still off one step, and that's the quality of the player, and that's Nick McInerney. They pretty much had their own way off the McConnell kick. They came out to the wing here, put it in, and then it became a little bit of a tussle, and ball popped out, and McInerney was on the back of that pack, and he's kicked his second. So they've just pushed themselves away a little bit here on the scoreboard. 4 goals, 8, 32. 12 scoring shots to 9, and 2 goals, 7 to South. And South will be kicking themselves here because they could have been equal, if not in front. But both teams just A little bit skew-if, so up it goes in the middle. There's one player coming forward for South to the left of screen here. Tackle, strong tackle. McInerney's doing it all. He's taking marks. He's pushing blokes around. In here is James Propotny.
It is, and up it goes again by umpire, throws it up. McInerney and O'Neill at it again. Comes out off hands to Brodie Virgo for South Gambier. Standing start there by Jake Tentai. Goes up high. Foster jumps up, tries to split the pack, but it's the runners that have got it from North Gambier. Come out wide now to the hands of Joel Griffith. Griffith gets swamped by South Gambier players. So a little underground pass to his captain in McInerney. McInerney's strength gets turned around there, and that's holding the ball. You're gone. He'll let him know about it. That'll be 50, yep. Nick, because that's one thing he does do. That with James Propotny in particular, a couple of old heads there, but they do get a bit fiery, and that's probably just a little bit silly there, right in front of the umpire.
McInerney actually looked down the ground to see what he was going to do, and then realised, oh, hang on, I'm hot here, and you either give it first thought,
yeah, exactly.
And held on and got caught. So yeah, James Propotny going to have a shot at goal. What do you reckon, Graham? Is he going to slot it?
Well, he's old forward, this guy. Used to be a very good half-forward flanker and on-baller, so he's run too far wide for my liking and a flat mongrel punt.
Get hold of that.
Yeah, exactly. So, unfortunately, once again, the skills have let him down, but good hands there and pick up by Hamish Stevens for South Gambier. Sees it go onto the boot, but it's touched again. That one was off Brodie Foster's foot. So South Gambier are doing the right things to get it in there, but both sides are just so disappointing at the moment with their skill level.
So 4 goals 8 to 2 goals 8. The score is correct, folks. And you see Justin McConnell. I'm not too sure on this. Look, his last kick in was great. This one, look at that.
Perfect again.
I guess I am sure, but you want him up where the ball is actually getting kicked too, because now he's out of the play back here. But you've got a player like McInerney who can do that, who needs to atone for his last little blemish. Round they come to Witt. Geez, he straightens himself up. He just can't. Those sticks must look about an inch apart when he turns around there. Couldn't quite get it forward. Good to see there with McInerney, and I don't know the gentleman. Oh, geez. Did you see that? Propotny ran straight then, and McInerney ran sideways to get away. Around it comes. That's a high kick. That's 80 metres. 40 up, 40 down.
The trouble is only went 3 forward, so it's play on, says the ump. Now it comes down now. North Gambier once again out to Dylan Munn, who's at the half-forward flank area. He's got no clear target. Gets it across there from Blackett. Blackett, little chip kick inside, gets cut off. And there's been a free now. Telford looks like has just must have been a bit high then, as the South Gambier player was trying to punch the ball away. So Hamish Telford for North Gambier, he's going to have a shot. McConnell's leading hard, trying to get the ball put to him. And I tell you, I'd pass to him every time. I don't care, because that guy can kick and mark. So... But Hamish Telford is backing himself. He's come back a heck of a long way. He's back inside the square. He's going to have to kick from about a good 40 or 51 metres. He's run to the left, puts it on his left foot, and the ball goes to the left. I don't know. Is there just something wrong with my eyes, or are they all running to where they're actually kicking the ball? Yeah, well, if you get right directly behind a player and you see that, it's an anomaly in our game. And if you where you run to and where you go to, and also where you point the sewing on the ball, believe it or not, is where it goes. So up it comes. They run out that little bit just to try and get a little bit more meterage. Anyway, in it comes. The players with the long sleeves are doing the job now. McConnell again, have a look at that off the boot. And same player. No, he gives it off. So player running through, just so casual there. And I reckon that's the big fella, Dylan Munn, is it? 29. And look at him get around him. I reckon that's him. He's it's Jake Schultz for North Gambier.
29, wasn't it?
No, number 13, the long sleeves. Not the 29. It's the big fella who's run down. Number 13.
Righto, so we'll put that down to Jake Schultz. He's pretty happy with things.
Most definitely, especially when you're the halfback, centre halfback, fullback. So that's why you can tell, because when the backman runs down and kicks a goal, and he gets for a beautiful pass from the former coach, and you've got to get around him.
There's a little bit of that. So a lot of yellow jumpers to the left of screen and a lot of red to the right here. And it goes sideways. You wouldn't believe it, would you? So bang on the ground here. You need the willing in there.
Well done.
Right, so couldn't quite put the pressure on there. Oh, geez, Foster couldn't quite get it around. It comes 3 players here. They've got to raffle it. Good vision, but not able to hit the player. And he's doing well. Is that Propotny again?
Correct.
Just giving him that little bit of impetus, but he swung around and free kick given. And this will be Joel Griffith, who's had a little bit of it. recent times. He's looking for the switch. McConnell leads very, very short, and that's a high kick. Down it comes, and that takes us to half-time, and 39 to 20, according to the scoreboard. And we will take a short break. We'll come back with best players and goal kickers. Now is the time, folks. If you're at home, go and put the kettle on, put some coals on the fire, get yourself set for a huge second half. Welcome back to the big game, folks. And as you can see on the scoreboard, 5-9-39. That is correct to North Gambier. 3-goal, 1 in front of South Gambier. 2 goals, 8-20. And Graham Gill is joining me, just going through some of the goal scorers and the better players. For North Gambier, we've got Nick McInerney with 2, number 2. And 2 dots next to him, which means he's had a fairly good game. And the thing I liked was he made the little blemish down here and 50 metres against him, but he did turn around and made up for it. It's get your head in the right space, get the next ball back and fix it up, which he did. We've got Brett Kennedy, number 7's playing okay. Joel Griffith, that quarter came into the play, going down. And Toby DeWitt's real lively up forward, just can't convert quite at the moment. And 54, Tyler Harrison. Of course, goal scorers, as I said, McInerney 2, Schultz 1, Hamish Telford 1, and Sam Stafford 1. And for South Gambier, Graham?
Yeah, well, for South Gambier, it's been a pretty even spread across the field. But goal kickers, Brodie Foster with his 1. When you've only got 2 goals, 8, Brodie Foster and the second goal scorer, Liam Delaney, the young fella. South Gambier seemed to control the ball a lot better that quarter. They had control, but they're still fumbling, and their kicking skill has left a fair bit to be desired, I've got to say. It's quite interesting when you look across, but James Paprotny, number 1 for South Gambier, he's played a very solid full half of game of football. He's been in and under with everything. He's not scared to stand up and take a few hits and give a few out. Brett O'Neill, the captain, he's an evergreen. He's a professional, that's for sure, but he's so intense when it comes to the ball on the ground, but his clean hands is what I love about it. Braden Kane, the coach, came in and out of it in that first quarter, but that second quarter certainly took responsibility and got the ball forward more. And Alex Harkness, number 21, he's only a young fella, and I've got to say I was quite impressed with his quarter then. He really took on a few hard things, but more impressively, he ran the length of the ground to make sure that he was an option. And then he turned around and got back just as quick, and that is a sign of a good up-and-coming young player, that he would run the length of the ground and present, be an option. All right, I'm overlooked, didn't sulk about it, ran all the way back and became a force in defence. That's a good player on the making. So Oliver Thompson is also a good rounder offer there for South Gambier. But the big news, I guess, is for North Gambier, number 5, Toby McAllister. Look, great mark. It was a beautiful mark. It appears as though, and I haven't seen him come out yet, but the word on the street is that he won't be taking any further part. Got a bit of an ankle issue. He rolled it when he landed.
Yeah, he didn't look good walking back into the rooms, did he? No. Dane Hendrick, how have you seen him?
Well, for a big bloke, he just gets in and he gets under as well. He's really, really worked hard as that second ruckman. He's young fella for South Gambier, sorry, mental block there, but the young fella in Hine is very good at tapping in the centre, but Hendrick has just got around the ground. He's caused a problem for the North Gambier forwards because he's running in there and he's throwing his body in, but his tackling has been very impressive for a big man, and his decision-making. I really like the fact that a big man like that who's on the ruck will take the ball and then look for the second option, not necessarily just rush or kick the ball out. He's looked for that second option and got the handballs direct.
And it's good for the players up the field, if you like, to get the ball down, go through a play like that. He's going to hang on to it and then he's going to deliver it to someone. So he's a really good player that you can actually go through, because he's not playing deep, he's playing up the ground. And if they can, the old days, a big imposing centre forward who'll give you a lead up and then pass it on. He reminds me a little bit of that. We've got a few statistics here in the second quarter. The inside 50s were 10-8 once again to North Gambier. So there's only 2 difference there. Clearances 1-2, tackles 3-2, and the hit-outs 1-3. So it is a real ding-dong battle. We expected it was going to be tight. Maybe thought the scores, 9-5 versus 8-2 would look a lot better, of course, for both teams. But it's good because we get an insight that it's fairly even. 3 goals up is not a big margin in any day, modern-day football. However, we'll see now whether South Gambier, and as we saw at the start of the game, South Gambier are already down and out into positions, and North Gambier are still in this huddle up there. They've had their 10 or so minutes in the rooms, and now they get together as a group here. And Be interested to see this first 5 or 10 minutes, Graham. We saw Brett Kennedy certainly started on fire, and I thought, geez, this guy goes all right, and he's still competing well. He just hasn't been as dominant around the ground because he was ground balls, taking marks, and young DeWitt, I've liked him up forward. He really gives them an avenue, doesn't he, up forward? But
certainly does. His attack
just
on the
needs that
ball's
conversion.
His attack on the ball's been unquestionable. His marking's been great. He's fed off a couple of handballs, but he's just got to relax a bit more, I think, up forward, and he needs to have a few more experienced heads talking to him and telling him just to go back and walk to where you want the ball to go. And as you mentioned yourself there, Tony, the way you hold the ball, lace up, bend your wrists a little bit, thumbs pointing in the right direction, it's not as easy as it sounds, that's for sure, but it's great that he needs those experience. Justin McConnell has been overlooked a few times. He's put some very strong leads. I'd be going to Justin McConnell every time.
All right, so umpire holds the ball off for this huge second quarter. The music's gone down, the ball goes up, and away we go. And in the middle there, the big Kennedy got the tap out. Around they come to McInerney, going the wrong way to try and get it forward. Banging it on the left foot, looking like a junior, just learning how to kick on the left, but it was forward, but taken by South Gambier. So in they come forward now, player leading up to the ball. Here's another one, Virgo, that's led up to the ball very well. I've liked him, and just drops it in short.
Foster takes the mark there, swings it quickly onto his right boot, goes a bit forward of centre, ball drops down, hits the ground. North Gambier clearing there with a beautiful sort of rush kick out, which gives them enough bounce hands in the back there, but not paid. Good attack on the ball was young North Gambier player in Tyler Harris. He's been pretty impressive too for a young fella today. He hadn't taken a backward step.
Like a bit of glue then, wasn't he?
He was.
Got on and stuck to him.
Up it goes again, and both ruckman, but once again, number 44 for South Gambier has done such a great job. But the ball hits the deck. Now it's stacks on the mill. Nobody can sort of take any option out of it.
And just see Noah Sims there, who applied that tackle, was off the back of the pack. He's picked up now, just watching for that ball that might come out 10 or so metres. So Kennedy a couple of times has tried to grab it. It's come undone there. Brett O'Neill round the corner, high kick in, using the body well there. And that's a nice set of jukes. Brett Shepherdson it was. So they go around the outside now, down the wing. Player can't take it right on that far side. They handball outside to come back down. And DeWitt again, he doesn't even stop. He just plays on immediately. That's a nice kick into the hot spot. It's gone over the top of the pack. She's on here. South Gambier have picked up. Player running out, gives a handball, but it goes to grass. Not really advantageous. It's going to beat all the players across the line, and unfortunately that's a turnover in this game, and Tyler Harris comes inside.
Goes into McInerney. McInerney goes back to the centre where the big ruckman in Kennedy standing on his own. He's now taking control and just stepping back and looking for a good solid lead. Goes forward now on that right boot. Nice kick out wide once again, but it's a 3-on-1. And good floating across the front of the pack there was number 31 in Tyler Saffin for South
Great grab,
Gambier.
wasn't it?
Beautiful grab. Little chip kick out now, just going out to that half-back pocket. Goes around there. South is really trying to play the possession game this time. Little chip kick once again, but they've got the players on their own out of true centre wing. And looking there, but from there, that's where it's freezing up because there's no opportunity for anyone. Lead up forward now. Oh, there he is, our man, Big Hendrick. Beautiful big grab there, one-handed, put the big mid out, just held on to it. Play on, calls the umpire. You've wandered off your mark. Wasn't really watching there and kicked it straight up the air where Justin McConnell for North Gambier takes the mark. Right on that back pocket area. McConnell, he's a bit staggery looking for a lead. Can't find anyone, so he goes out wide and low. Nice kick and nice mark out there. Once again to North Gambier. Come inboard now. Little chip kick to Brett Shepperson for North. Shepperson for North right at that halfback flank, right on the 50-metre arc, looking for an option. Comes in now to Dylan Munn at true centre halfback. Went to play on. Just faked the handball across. And now coming out of the back line. Nice kick to a leading player. Can't find his target. Ball comes off hands out to South. Good recovery there onto the right boot. Looking into the forward line. Oh, two North Gambier players upset each other there. Off hands. 1, 2. Ball comes down to Virgo. Virgo onto the right and kicks it. Drills it hard as you can.
Smashed into the post. Yeah, so you see a lot of this play now. It's just playing between the 250s, and there's a lot of toing and froing, and all of a sudden we get a shot on goal. Get a bit excited about it, and it's through for a point. So we've seen this today. McConnell kicks it wide out here to another long sleeve in Jake Shields. So Shields comes straight down the wing. Up it goes, push and shove. That is a fantastic set of jukes, and I reckon that's, it was Sam Stafford. Nice looking kick on the left, but just kicks to a pack. and this is what can happen. It comes undone. Oliver Thompson it is. Just takes one step and goes sideways. So once again, we spoke about that second quarter. Noah Sims now comes down. Player just very casual there. Good set of jukes. Knows his way around a footy field does Dane Hendrick. So he's really picked up this game. Picks it up, but just as we say it, gives it back to Stafford. So exactly what we're saying, Graham, kicking between the 250s, turnover, comes back again.
Yeah, and it's just getting a little bit overwhelming, I think, for both sides because
McInerney
they're
again.
just not leading out. So McInerney takes a good safe kick about 25 metres from Stafford. Looking inboard now, there's two players together there. McConnell leaves it for the younger player in Backman in the back line. Goes across ground, picks up there by North Gambier. Beautiful long kick, long and correct. Exactly where it meant to be to Brett Shepperson for North Gambier. Shepperson kicks it onto nobody in particular. Scramble in the middle, but good pick up by Hamish Telford for North. He swings onto the left, over the top of the head of the leading full forward. The ball's just dribbling out the back, and it dribbles over for another behind. So North Gambier are now 5-10 to South Gambier 2-9. And Tony, this kicking to position, they just seem to be rushed all the time.
So Propotny it is in the goal square. So you got McConnell at one end and Propotny at the other. Comes very wide with this kick down towards the flank. Oh, a player at the back couldn't quite take it there, but Dane Hendrick, he gives you a contest, and player taken here. Oh, just a little bit of a push off, and that's Dale Backman getting protected by Nick McInerney, but there's a turnover here now. 3-1. They'll run it out here quite easily. Good spot to stand right behind the umpire. No one will see you. They come diagonally across the ground now, but not to any player. So it's hit grass again. North Gambier should get out. Player out here is McConnell, but the handball's high for him. Puts him under a truckload of pressure, and he's done actually well to get a juke to that. And put it in front of him, and he allowed the South Gambier players to just tackle him to the ground.
Certainly didn't, but he should have been paid the free. The ruck contest a bit sloppy there, but South Gambier, Hendrick picks it up off the ruck, dribbles it through, and it's through for another minor score. Gee, he played the biggest man out there, played the game of a rover. So, but as you just said, it's a game of points, and it really is the highest scorer here, that's for sure. It's a bit like a basketball game, isn't it? Like, just get it in through your goals as much as you can. O'Connell now, he's looking for a target. He's got three over here to the right, and he's kicked straight to a South bloke. So that's unusual. Foster's there to fight hard. Nobody can take possession. Foster holds it in, as do the two North Gambier players. Still on the ground here, but O'Neill gets it out. Nice clean handball there. Looking for it back. Gets it back again right on the boundary line. Swings onto the left. He's not used that a lot, that's for sure. Comes out to Big Hendrick, who's done the banana, reverse banana outside of the right boot. And off he goes for another goal. Well, I tell you, the big fella, he's picked himself up a couple of votes there. Just by the way, he picked that ball up, had the presence of mind once again just to throw it on the boot, Big Dane Hendrick, and that was certainly well done.
I think you're correct, Graham. He's done some really good things in the first quarter. Doesn't get a pile of touches, but just about everything he's doing, there was one handball, I reckon, that was a turnover, but I think he was thinking ahead of the rest of the players. He's a very smart footballer. He knew, yes, we talk about skill, but he knew what to do there. He tried that dribbler before, and then he gets one over the top. So two quick shots at goals, and back in the middle. Can this be a little bit of a fight back as umpire throws it up? And Kennedy goes with the left hand there. They go backwards to go forwards again, and McConnell gave it out and took off, and the player dropped it for North Gambier. And one of the things we're going to discuss is that 2% dehydration becomes fatigue, mental and physical, concentration, skills. When the ball was down here to the right for South Gambier, there were a lot of players that were standing just ball watching. That the whole on-ball brigade hadn't followed that ball down. So we're starting to see a lot more just the one-on-one or two-on-two battles that we saw down in that pocket. Umpire throws it up now. Puts it forward, does Brett Kennedy. It's right down at centre half forward now. Here come the charge of the Light Brigade. Oh, not able to take it up, but it's okay. There's a great backup there, and that's good teamwork. And out it comes here. Brett O'Neill, I think it is, on the flank. He's been all over the ground today. He's playing an outstanding game, to be honest, for South. Holds it up. Now it's a high kick straight down the wing in front of the big grandstand. There he is again. You don't have to mark it. Just put a contest in. The big fella did. So it's come, and that's great vision across the ground by Brodie Virgo. There's no one out here. So Brock Kedding, can he actually make something of it? And too much space in the forward line. Player lines up. Turns and misses.
once again, that poor skill at the end. And the big fella, he got his hands up and then a bit of a falcon, but he did bring it forward and gave the smaller guys that opportunity. So North Gambier now to take the kick out once again, and our man McConnell goes back to the kick out. Just dropped that one a little bit short, maybe he's a bit tired, but ball comes off the ground there. One bounce to Ortlip, and he's played a good serviceable game.
He's had to work there, hasn't he?
He has, and Tyler Harris once again bobs up, takes a nice mark over his head. Little chip back inside to McConnell, so they haven't progressed very far. They've only got about 20 metres out of goals.
Exactly right.
So Justin McConnell has it now at halfway between centre half back and full back, and goes long looking for anybody. A kick and hope, a good spoil there, but great running comes through for South Gambier and Tyler Saffin. Saffin gets trapped though. McInerney for North Gambier gets it. He's usually pretty clean with it, but sets himself up for a run through the centre. Easily done. 1-2, gets it back. Nice kick down the right, looking for Hamish Telford, who's all on his own. 1-2 bounces. He didn't quite trap it. Now he's put himself under pressure, puts it onto the left foot to looking for a top of the square. Nobody there, off hands. Still in play, sorry. I thought that went through the behinds, but still in play. And the play on, says the goal umpire. Gee, there was a lot of opportunity.
Looked like he ran around the point.
It looked like it from here, but North Gambier have picked it
out.
up, looking inboard, but there's a good mark there in defence to South Gambier to hold it up.
Todd Reid,
Todd Reid doesn't slow down, so that's now another spoil there. North Gambier, Tim McInerney, took hands there, thought he might have been paid the 2 touches, but play on, says the umpire. Ball hits the ground again. Gee, it's a stack on the mill, scrabbly sort of third quarter so far, isn't it, Tony?
Just have a look there too. Now the players start to come in. There's only about 6 or 8 players around that initial pack, and up it goes. Players out in position, so a lot of space. This is what will happen if you don't congest. There's a lot of space. Another turnover. We're seeing a lot of it. In it comes, and Big Stafford puts the jukes up. He's going to kick from 50. The man on the mark's walked up about 6 metres there. Umpire now says, we'll make it about 2 metres in. So Stafford is going to kick from a fair way out. He's not looking 100% there. He's a bit of a staggered start now. He's going to line them up. Very deliberate. Everyone's gone back. There's 3 players in front of the man on the mark here. Geez, he kicks it high and long too. Beautiful. And straight as well. So he likes that, and that's the answer. So Big Stafford gets his second. The scoreboard will move along now to 6-10. That will be 46. To 3 goals, 11. That is correct. 3 goals, 11, 29. So they've kicked 1 goal 4 to 1 goal 1 for the quarter. South Gambier, they might be ruining these chances, but they're only really 3 kicks out. If they can straighten up a little bit, they're certainly contesting very well. But see, that turnover again, 2 or 3 there. North Gambier had to do the work. Just hang on a minute. Player coming on. Wasn't in position, the 6-6-6, so he's coming off the bench. And wasn't quite down there, young Brodie Allen.
So it's up again in the centre, and Ruckman just leaves it. So that's holding the ball. You got to be, because Brett Kennedy waited for Heine to tap it down, roved it himself, then got caught running away. Comes out wide now, South Gambier, but well picked up there off the pack by Joel Griffith for North. Griffith gets it on to Telford. Telford with that nice left foot, but puts it hard for Dylan Munn. Dylan Munn puts it out there for Ortlip. Ortlip, he's looking impressive on the move, that's for sure. Stafford gets it, bombs it onto the left foot. Should have probably shepherded it through, but bounces off the chest of North Gambier forward there and through for another behind. And that was a good bit of play there, especially by the 2 young fellas. And then Stafford had the presence of mind to go as long as he could towards a goal. Comes out.
Yep, out it comes now, and this is Hamish Stevens.
Yeah, Hamish
Called
Stevens.
him Mutts, comes inside. So that's that square kick inside. They're trying to give a little bit more width to the ground here. Get a little bit more space, but he comes back out to this boundary side. Off hands, a good toe there. That's great pace by Colby Munro. Comes inside. A little bit of synergy here between the teammates, and they're going inside 50, but guess what? One hand does up, won't do the job. Running onto it now, and that's through for Brodie Foster. So the single arm up isn't going to work for Jake Schultz, and Foster capitalises there, and that's one of the only times today where we've seen a team actually get the ball from one end to the other in one go. So they've got their second for the quarter, and they edge that little bit closer now. 6-11-47, 4-11-35, so 12 points the difference. And Brodie Foster with his second, capitalising on that mistake. But as we were saying there, you could see when that ball came in, it was just 2-on-2. Up in the middle, there's a player free just to the side here. They're playing off each other, the 2 captains. Well, it wasn't the captain, sorry. Round it comes their away again now, South. Can they get a second one on the board in a row? They kick it in. Player not able to get it for North Gambier. Around they come, and there it is. Been impressed with this young lad too, young Liam Delaney.
Yes.
He has got his second, and is he a young bloke, Graham? He looks like certainly a player of the future.
Certainly is. He's another one of these players that's a bit local talent that has gone and come back, and it's a good opportunity for South now to really build on this momentum, because they've really got North's measure across this half back and in the centre once again. So
his finish there, he looks very almost calm and lackadaisical when he goes about it, and I guess the other guy is Dale Backman, who's for the opposition. They look. I'd like to see those two actually play on each other. They look very similar. So in the middle it is.
Yeah, back in the middle once again. It's on the deck, and those two that we know, Probotny and McInerney, fighting hard in the middle for it. Comes off hands now into North Gambier's forward, and looks like Stafford coming forward to take that mark.
Great kick there, wasn't it, Joel Griffith?
Kick then by Griffith, and this will give Stafford another opportunity here. All the boys are pointing forward for him to have a red-hot go for it. But, when you got first playing third and only the third game of the year, it's really is testing on both of them. So Stafford now with that usual long run up, lovely left foot with a little skip at the end. Looked nice, but looks like it might have just drifted off at the end there for another behind. So
quick interchange there, 2 on, 2 off. A ruckman came on and...
swapping them around there.
Yeah, Buckley came on.
As did Mitchell Kelton, who looks like he's carrying a bit of a right knee injury. Oh, good tackle there once again by North Gambier. Play on. Oh, no, out of bounds.
Ooh.
A bit of... someone's trying to work out whose it is. So, no, throw in by the small boundary umpire here. I reckon that's young Shanksy, I think that is. Great arm he's got, that's for sure. Gets in high now. Stafford takes the mark. Tries to handle it on, but out to O'Neill for South Gambier. Brett O'Neill hooks it down. Here he is again. Young Delaney for South Gambier. He's certainly presenting very well. So he's got it now, looking for options. Nobody really clear, so it's a 2-1 for Foster. 2 on 1. That's got to be a free kick.
Yeah.
I actually thought that would have gone the other way. But
interfered with early, I think. Yeah.
So Foster for South Gambier gets it onto that right boot. Tries to set up top of the square, but once again, poor communication down there. Sees the Dale Backman for North Gambier at fullback. Comes out wide now looking for Telford. Telford gets an ordinary sort of bounce, but still has presence of mind to get over the top to Nick Blackett. Blackett goes through. The old 1-2 back here once again to Telford. Telford goes back to Blackett again. Play goes on there, dribbled across the line. No play on, says the umpire. I thought that might have been holding the ball. Play it on, they say. Telford once again. He's in everything out there, and so is Blackett. A little bit of 1-2 basketball, volleyball, whatever you want to call it. Comes back inboard now to number 34 in Egan. Egan gets it out long, looking for a nice mark once again by Stafford. He's impressed this last 10 minutes, that's for sure. Poor kick by the North Gambier player. Sees it picked up and just... How's that
talk about that? So they have it in the centre of the ground. They load up again, but I tell you what, he's put it up so high. So we've seen 3 turnovers in a row. Brody Virgo's quite impressive as well. Now there's a whole pile of space out here, and running in is Colby Munro. Ran a long way, put it into the teeth of goal, 2 on 1, and that is a great grab, I would suggest. And I reckon that's Foster again, I would say.
No, Foster's out at centre half forward. I'm not sure who it is, but he's on the ground. He's not moving too quick. So.
Yeah, Foster's there with the long sleeves, you're correct. So, geez, it was a good... He ran a long way there, Colby Munro, but he knew what he wanted to do with it, and he picked that player out, and I reckon it's Todd Reid. I'll have a third go, Braden Kane.
Braden Kane, the coach.
Because I haven't got many numbers to go through now. So.
That's all right.
So the player who just kicked that ball in, Munro's just come off for a little bit of a breather. Kane, slight angle, he'll only kick from 20 out. Steps in.
Nice delivery.
And he's kicked it.
So well done, Braden Kane.
Going a little bit goal for goal here. That brings them up. So there should be 1 point in it now. 6-12-48 to 6-11-41. So the points are really going to be irrelevant, the inaccuracy, because both teams had it. It's going to come down to the goals. Close score at this point, so that brings them right back into contention, and could be the stronger South we may see them run over the top. We're almost 19 minutes into the quarter, Graham.
Well, they look a bit fitter, to be honest, South. They seem to be moving a bit better than North in the centre. So up it goes again. North Gambier with the tap. Little throw out there. Sees it come back to the South Gambier on ballers. Push and shove in the centre. That's McConnell. He gets it. Handles over his head blindly. Trying to pick it up here at South Gambier. Comes out to O'Neill now. O'Neill gets onto that left boot. Kicks it long. A little bit of push and shove by O'Neill and McInerney once again. But you wouldn't expect that not to happen, really. So now it's all stacks on the mill at centre half forward. On the bottom of the pack there is number 12, Jake Tentai for South Gambier, and it will be interesting to see.
And you see the midfield there, there's about 6 players have just trotted down into this, and so there's probably about 18 or so players actually around this ball, if not more, breaking through there, this way, that way, and then couldn't get it across the top. Backman got a smother in. Is he taken high? No. Play on, and the lights are on, the yellow ball's out. We've got a night game on now, and across it goes to Propatani. Around he comes, bangs it on the left. That's a pretty good kick in. Virgo got up, couldn't take it. Unrealistic attempt or shepherding. McConnell. So
in the back.
He's spent. I'll tell you what he has done. Kicked 3 goals last week. He spent probably 80-90% of the game in the back line today as Justin McConnell. So he's the everywhere man. He's getting younger as he's getting older, as they say, and. He has got a nice kick on him, and in fact, so nice that he's kicked it to
straight to Dane Hendrick.
Dane Hendrick again, who tends to read the play, and there he goes. So he's
from Hendricks put South Gambier into trouble again.
He's racking up the stats.
O'Neill comes back again, and
Here
Hendrick
he
once
is.
again. He's had 3 touches in 30 metres.
That kick.
Bloke, and beautiful kick for the big fella. You might have to go back there a bit, young fella. But number 10 in Brock Ketting for South Gambier. He's taken a lovely mark, looking for
Hendricks just told him to hang up,
Yep.
and he's Kendrick, and he's running in.
Bit of
So
push
he's
and
going
shove.
to end up in the goal square here, and they can't stop him.
No, there's no one there that can stop him. So it's Ketting comes through now. It looks nice off the boot from where we are, a little bit to the right of goal, and it's through for another behind to South Gambier. But you're right, the big fella was trying to get him to hold up long enough for him to get into the square, but he was blocked out by the North players. They knew what he was trying to do.
So guess who kicks in?
O'Connell.
Long sleeve to long sleeve. So O'Connell it is again. McConnell to Schultz. He comes high down the wing, and there's a mighty tussle on here, and McInerney's got to beat 2 or 3 of them. He'll probably push. He does. It just a couple of little things in his game there that he could probably take out of his game, allow him to get down the ground a bit. It's no good being tough after the ball's left your area, mate. Give you that one. Anyway, in it comes, and Jake Tentai it is, right in the middle of the ground. Nice little touch kick. So can they maintain possession? And good set of hands to have it in Brett O'Neill. He's played a very good game. And so they run on. They overlap. They're only coming down 20 metres at a time. Another player free here on the wing if he wants him. Long time in the hands. Lets all the backmen get in. Does go short. That's a great kick to honour that lead there. And Alex Harkness again had a bit of it. Player going to glide by for a handball. He's not going to get it. Doesn't see the player out to the right, so just bombs 3 on to 1 off. Tell you what, he got hands to the ball there, did Hendrick. Couldn't take it, but it's in a very dangerous position now. And you see, the on-ballers haven't come down. The players that are down that end of the ground are now going to take the throw-up.
Yep. And so that's the amazing thing. But South Gambier is still holding it in their forward line, which is good. But North Gambier is purely by weight of numbers. Look at that. Out to the big number 7 in Ruckman. He comes out wide. McInerney's outclassed there. Punched away. Comes out wide now looking for Telford. Telford sees it go over the boundary line, and it's a rushed over, so it will be a boundary throw in. And you're right, South Gambier have come out this quarter with a little bit better game plan, I think, than North. They're holding back a bit, running in structure, so which is good. And it comes again. Up high, nice ruck work there, sees it hit the deck. Can't picked up by, missed there by number 10 in Griffith for North Gambier. Can't quite see there, it comes out through under the box there, but it's Telford and Ketting for South. Ketting still keeps his hands in there, smothers it as the handball comes out to go over the boundary line.
So McConnell's brought himself down, a lot of the Gambier players down, which leaves 2 or 3 free, back about 30 metres, and you see McInerney trying to come up and fill a hole here, which leaves another free, another kick back.
And that comes now, and it comes out by Schultz out wide there, looking for, but overrun by
Reed.
Stafford. By North, comes down now. McInerney's trying hard, can't get anything there. Comes off to South Gambier. Lovely little chick there out to O'Neill. O'Neill at the sort of half-forward flank area, looking for a target. Can't see one now. Waits, holds up, goes in long. Oh, Hendrick, good split, but can't hold on to it. Good fleet of foot there
Crummy,
in
yeah.
number 12 in Jake Tentai. Sets it up to the true centre half forward position. Hands one-on-one. Oh, he's fumbled it again. Here's Brody Virgo for South Gambier. Swamped on by the North Gambier players. Nobody can get clear. Ball's on the ground. We'll ball it up. A little bit of scuffle going on in the boundary line.
So a little bit of frustration. Up it goes, and umpires called a free kick right in front of goal. And the South Gambier players are going to be very happy with this.
Foster was
Foster it
shepherded out.
is. Yep. So he'll line up for his third. May have missed a couple as well. So
3.
Steps in. Yep. Straight through it goes. And this has made a game of it because they've now hit the front. No, they're 1 point down.
Yep.
6-12-48 to 6-11-47. I thought they'd had another goal there, but obviously I'd missed it. So just starting to peg back now. And
I've got them for 7, so
Yeah.
I think the scoreboard might have missed one there.
24-minute mark of the quarter as well. And I reckon they've kicked three for the quarter, 3-4. And just hit the front now as we speak. So umpire comes in to ball it up. Can they get a late one here? North Gambier, a lot of space with the 6-6-6. Oh, charging in both ruckman, and he did cop that in the ribs too. I saw that. The North Gambier player came charging in. The South Gambier player a little bit injured in the middle. He's got back up, thank goodness. Out it comes. They're starting to do this. They're playing the width well and hitting targets. There's a player inside if he wants. Elects to go down forward. Why wouldn't you? Because you got some targets up there and it's late in the quarter. And relying on North Gambier player just to bundle that across the line. Dangerous position here, Graham, because they may well snavel another one here. Let's see what happens on the throw-in.
South Gambier are holding that line across half-back flank and letting all the North blokes crowd up on the ball. So the throw-in comes in, ball hits the deck, and it's North on North down there. But South have got 3 players open as if it comes out. Does so now, but McInerney drops what he should have taken. Handballs off now, moves it on for North Gambier out of the back line just as the siren goes. And Nick Blackett for North Gambier right at half-back flank. But, I think the North Gambier at that time well and truly outplayed by South in that quarter, and South Gambier, according to me, have 3, 5, 7. Well, I've got them as 7-12.
Yeah, I've got 3.
Wrong. So scoreboard's a little bit out there, and so in my opinion, I think South Gambier are a clear goal ahead. Look, that quarter, it was great to see once again our old mate Dane Hendrick. He got back into it and got things around really sharply, really got his body on the line. But Brody Foster was a bit more prominent. But Brett O'Neill, so much smarter player for South Gambier, got out wide, used the runners a few times, and his kicking to position was a big difference. And young Liam Delaney, how good was he that quarter? He just, number 47 for South Gambier. He's got a couple of goals now. He's got his hand on the ball quite a bit. Couple of players that did sort of step back into it. James Propotny in the centre has really taken Nick McInerney of North out of the game. Nick McInerney showing his frustrations a few times now. But Alex Harkness, probably a bit quieter that one for South Gambier. But yeah, Brody Foster now with 3 goals. He's starting to show his worth, that's for sure, as a full forward. And he's a strong full forward.
Yeah, and it's a good target to have up forward, isn't it? Because if you can get it down there and you get finished, you don't see it come back out. The work rate stays up. And I'm starting to look at, as I said, O'Connell's McConnell is staying in the back line, but a couple of players might just start going up and down on a spot a little bit here for North Gambier with the speed of the game, and just get that feeling that South may run over the top, but you get the Witt back in the game. They might bring him up the ground a little bit more, get a few young fresh legs down the line through the wing half forward, and if they get it down there, you never know what can happen. So it is a real 50-50 game as we speak. We have got the scoreboard at 6-12-48 to 5-11-41. We will see if we can get.
Yeah, no, I think it's 7. They have been having trouble with the scoreboard all day, not because of the operators, but because of the electronics. So it keeps freezing up apparently.
All right.
I think South Gambier is 7-12 to North Gambier 6-12. That's my score. I don't know whether you've got the same. Tony, but look, either way, there's only a goal in it, I would say, and it's going to be important who starts off this next quarter, because it's got quite dark now, as you can tell, and obviously we're under the full lights, which is fantastic because it is great, such a good environment for it. North Gambier just seem to be lacking fitness. We're only 3 weeks into a season, and they just seem to be running out of puff. Against West Gambier last game, same thing. they got overrun in the last quarter. So, I think this is going to be their issue, is their fitness. They have got some young players. Maybe they do need to, like you just said, get young DeWitt up centre half forward, play him across, even on the wing, because he's a good hands, great hands. Move him on the wing, so he's something a bit different is probably what we need to do.
Well, they scored 2-3 first quarter. They scored 3-5 the second quarter. A lot of points, but they only scored the 1-goal-3 in that quarter. So, I guess for Ben Hardy there is, okay, let's have a look at our second halves and how are we scoring and what's happening and what are the reasons behind that. But I'll tell you what I was impressed with South Gambier there was they started to use width. So we saw Propotny at times coming out wide, and Brett O'Neill, what a great set of hands to get it into. Out here we saw Colby Munro, of course, come charging through the half-forward line and get it down deep. So they're coming from the outside areas, the width of the ground, and as you said, that quarter, North Gambier tried to really put numbers down around the ball, which left 2 or 3 players 30, 40 metres off the ball, and they were the ones that were getting it.
Yeah, so we've just been confirmed it is definitely 6-12 to 7-12, so it is a goal in it. So there you go, mate. All my years in football and sales for cars, I can actually still count. So that's not a bad impression.
Yep,
so,
very good.
So if my kids are listening, see, Dad can get past 10.
6-12-48.
So it is a very interesting game, that's for sure. And like you said, with Brett O'Neill, he's been smart enough to run from that half-forward, half-back line and set up that option wide on the wing. And he's really used the voice well to make sure that the South Gambier players know where he was. Propotny in the centre has been very, very strong. And like we said earlier, young Delaney, he's been quite impressive that for probably 2.5 of 3 quarters. I've been very impressed with young Delaney. His movement around the ball, but his control of the ball is what's impressing. He steps back, waits for the right kick, and then delivers.
The other one I've been impressed with, and he could almost be a foil, or if he really gets going and clunks and takes the single grabs, and we saw a little bit of a fumble, but he's still going. He's third in line in the forward line is Brodie Virgo, but some of his strong leading up, and he's a good size, like we're talking about, of course, Toby DeWitt down the other end. He's quite lean and light, gets a lot of it, but down the other end is Brodie Virgo. He's got a good size about him as well, and he's third in line. And if he can actually clunk a few of those and, as I said, take those first grabs, you'll end up with 2 or 3 goals a game out of him as well.
And this will be interesting from the ball up here because South Gambier have got Ryan Cole now in the ruck, the young fella, up against the vastly experienced and very, very strong Brett Kennedy. So this will be interesting to see how this goes. So here we go to start the final quarter. Up we go. Ball's thrown up well. Well, I reckon it's stalemate there, but Kennedy got the tap down, so we'll play it to North Gambier. Comes out wide. North get the first kick away. Looking forward, but going over the head of Stafford. Picked up well by the defenders in South Gambier. Long handball, but took your eyes off it, son. That'll happen every time. Struggles to keep his feet.
Costly,
wasn't it?
Wrestle
going on now between Hamish Telford has won a free kick, but the ball's got to get back to him quickly because South Gambier are now running down and manning up. So Hamish Telford for North Gambier after that good tackle. Gets a nice kick into the forward lines looking for a target. Can't find a clean one, but Stafford gets up. Off hands there. Good pick up, but unfortunately hits the post is number 10 for North Gambier, Joel Griffith once again. It's getting rather dark in here, I've got to say, Tony.
He's been handy too, Griffith. He's, looks like a young up-and-comer, if you like, and I said that last year at a game and the bloke was 30, so, Anyway, Brett O'Neill.
That's young up-and-comers to us.
Yeah, Brett O'Neill, it is a good set of dukes, as I said, to have it in. The thing I like too is that, you can still see the South Gambier players here down the ground are still, look at them all moving around, they're active, make their opponents work, and I've liked this kid too. He's been good. Liam Delaney, as you mentioned, and he gives them a good lead-up. He's that sort of good size, athletic type, and players are pointing to kick it down. And look at that. I've noticed that earlier in the game, great kick. Geez, O'Connell, great courage to back. And I'll tell you what, that formed a big pack, and they've crumbed this off, and space in the middle there. Away here, North Gambier. Down they go. The player just lifted the toe. He's got it through to DeWitt, and the umpire says, that is a mark. You've had a bounce. We'll give you everything. Yep. And great setup, and that kick came through Cameron Ortlep, who knows his way around the footy ground as well, as I said, premiership player last year. And they're going to have their second shot on goal within 2 minutes here, and DeWitt it is. So, geez, I like this game. There's going to be a pushback again, and just having a look now, Well, this could go anywhere.
So here comes the win.
Oh, he's
And you're right, it goes anywhere.
he dropped that and it spun forward.
He's kicked it though. That's his
And
first.
that's one of the best goals ever seen on this park. Let me just tell you that. So well done, lad. Good on you, Toby DeWitt.
But
Because
you're right, he dropped it sideways through the leg from
Yep.
outside his right hip into the line.
his foot chased the ball.
It did. It chased it big time. Came off the outside of the right foot, I reckon. Floated on sideways. And it's a perfect goal through the middle.
I tell you what,
We
Graham.
know absolutely nothing, Tony. You know that.
He's put him a point in front.
Correct. That's a very important point, that one. So, right, she's going back to the centre now, and the body language says that South Gambier are going to try and get this back. They've set up one person behind the ball. Up it goes now. Good ruck work there, but well done to Kennedy for North Gambier. He wins it down, but once again, that man, number one, James Propotny, absolutely bottles it up on McConnell. McConnell took a bit of time to get up off the ground there for North Gambier. Up it goes again. Both ruckmen at it. Nobody won that one. She's an equal points. McConnell probably lucky he didn't get a free there. Unlucky, comes out now off hands to Delaney for South Gambier once again. Big spiral, mongrel punt
Good
forward.
grab.
What a great one-handed mark there. Taken at the true centre half forward area. And that's Braden Kane, I reckon it is. Yeah, Braden Kane, the coach. Good strength, great vision. Held that all the way then. That was just a great mark. So,
Tell you
well
what you do see, is when there is a stoppage in play, it's like everyone just stops, hands on hips, walks. When it's on, but they're trying to get that breather in as well.
They very much so. But how good was young
great grab.
Delaney once again from the centre? Sense of mind to actually go with a big spiral now. Left Kane on one-on-one. Good strength. Beautiful kick. Great action there from Braden Kane. That gives him another goal. And that'll lift South enormously because Braden Kane, that's his second for the day. And he's really earned both his marks very hard. Nothing's been gifted to him, that's for sure.
And we could see, this is what we like to see, that goal-for-goal battle. There's nothing in this game. It's an absolute belter now. It's built into this. It was very scrappy early at times. There was a little bit of switch of play and cut-off play between the 50s. Now we're starting to see the ball get down and get through. Then it goes the other way and gets through. Doesn't get turned over. So up they go in the middle. He's battled well all day, Big Kennedy, and good to see. Gave him a bit of a bake, but McInerney get back and actually get the football in his hands and do something with it. So good on him. And round it comes. They're in their forward line now. Can't get it out, South Gambier. So North Gambier, we're commentating to the right.
Yep.
All of a sudden it's back down to the left. Now it's back down to the right. So it's North's turn again.
And
5 points behind.
Made a bit of a change here. They've put Patrick Glynn, number 51 for South, has gone to full forward. And it looks like Foster has come off. So that's an interesting move.
So around it goes, just throwing out there. They're trying to break out of the back line. Players are running on. See the South Gambier players, there's 3 or 4 around this that have run on. That's fitness. See, there they go. And you get that link up because that extra player's run on. Nice kick down the wing to a 50-50. Players caught behind. And I reckon that's Virgo up the ground a lot there. A little bit of pointing. So you start to see the tactics now.
Yep. And Foster's actually out on the wing there, which is a bit unusual. As you said, Braden
Kane's deep,
forward,
isn't he?
And Virgo has come right up the ground there, and Patrick Glynn has now gone all the way down to full back. So playing a bit of ducks and drakes at the moment, a few tactics being used, but North Gambier have the ball in their possession. So at the end of the day, whoever keeps the ball is going to win the game. In it comes down the centre. There's that young fella again, young Tyler Harris. He's done a mighty job, I reckon, with the small fella. On the ball today, he's worked really hard, taken a few big hits as well. But the umpire's about to throw up again. Throw the ball up, that is. It's not that bad. McInerney for North gets it out. Chain of handballs come out now to Ruckman. He can't hold it. Gets pushed away from him. South Gambier pick it up once again. Throw it on the left boot. Lovely mark there. Play on goes Brock Ketting. Ketting looks for a teammate, can't find one, but good hands off roving the pack. But O'Neill once again goes out wide to our big mate. Then Handrick, it looks like he tries to keep it in, can't do so, comes off hands, and it will be a throw-in because it was a rushed over the boundary line.
How clever was that handball in the middle? He attracted 3 players to him, got it out, and allowed South Gawler then to run.
South Gambier, mate.
Gambier. I'll get South something. South Sydney, run on with it. Wow, strong throw in there. It'll be over the back just about. Kennedy taps it to the front. Diving in, North Gambier player, and umpire says, give it to me. We're live on air to all our viewers, Australia and worldwide. Thank you for watching, and our umpire says I'll have a bit of time on camera. Thank you.
So unusual for an umpire, isn't it, that they'd want time on camera. But up it goes. Bruce throws it up. The ball comes out now. Rush to the centre here through that light area. But it's number 31 for South Gambier in Saffin. Saffin, that old body of his, it's taken a few belts, so he's used to that. Good bit of battle now, and it looks like a free kick won by the crowd there. We said at the start of the game about 200 umpires. Well, about 140 of them just called holding the ball, and we're right. So,
I reckon that's Ortlip again too.
Yeah, it is. He's played pretty mighty game that last half. Comes out wide now to Kennedy for North Gambier, the ruckman. He's done a pretty good job too, because he's not exactly a young bloke, and he's managed it well. Once again, pretty ordinary kick to a pack where there's nobody got clear. Comes off hands there. Great pick up. Comes off to the right, left boot, looking for McConnell there at full forward. He gets pushed under the ball. Can't get to it. Still racing hard. Those white boots are shining. Ducks the head. Grabs the head. Play on, said the umpire. He's going to ball it up.
Jesus, it was a little bit of...
I
think he knew what he was going to do, but...
And he's actually... I thought he'd turn it around then and played some the other way, but... blood rule. So that's not bad. He gets the blood rule, but the umpire said it wasn't in the head.
Don't know. It looked like he ducked into that, but maybe he was taken.
I think he
there.
did, but the knee got him, just clipped him.
But
look, at the end of the day, that's a head high. And in today's football, once again, we talk about the way they run around corners, accidental or whether he ducked in, it's still head high. You know, it's a bit hard to judge nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, little Brody Allen, come on.
Yeah. Off we go again. North Gambier still have it in their forward line. Comes out wide. Good tackle there and great pressure by young Tyler Harris once again to force a ball over the line. And I tell you, little Tyler, he's doing exceptionally well there.
How long since Justin McConnell's actually been off a ground of football? Very rarely interchanged?
Very rarely.
Probably 15 years or so.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
Oh, look at it. Oh, couldn't quite get away there, South Gambier.
He was very open then, Jake Tentai. He was hoping he could run, but the umpire called it back. Throws it up now. We're only about 45, 50 metres from the North Gambier goal, but gets rushed out of play there. Comes on. Good attack on the ball by South Gambier. Sees it hit the ground once again and over the boundary line, but it's rushed over, so it'll be another boundary throw-in. And I don't know about you, but if they don't put miners' hats on these players soon with lights on, we're going to struggle to see them.
We're in a bit of strife, aren't we? Yeah.
So, number 5 there, and O'Neill gets beautiful handball fed out by South Gambier, looking down the field, can't get to it. Hendrick's starting to get a bit slow there now. They've got a young player on him in Dale Backman. Backman kicks it nicely into Jake Schultz for North Gambier. Goes across the ground, out wide there to young Egan. Haven't called him as much as I'd like to have today, that's for sure. But he's done the old 1-2 here to build the stats up, which is good. Comes inside to Dylan Munn. Still no clear. Egan once again comes all the way back across the ground here looking for Backman. Backman gets it. He's clear there by a few yards but can't deliver. Yes, he can. I apologise. Young Blackett gets it. Cooks up nicely looking for his captain in McInerney. McInerney keeps it in front of him very well with the strength. Handball's back now. Big long kick, 13. Ooh. Oh, that's a bit ordinary, I would have thought, taking his legs out like that. But up we go again. Play it on. North Gambier at centre half forward. Can't take control. Ball hits the deck. Good hands out. Comes out again looking for... Can't see the number there, sorry, but goes in deep. And that's a lovely mark to Sam Stafford.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Toby DeWitt put in a good effort down there. And it came out one kick and came back in. And Stafford... He's good size, isn't he? He's a big, tall lad as well, and the taller guys don't get any shorter as the game wears on.
Yeah, that's it. And they always say that, big men don't get shorter. So, and it comes now Stafford with that lovely left foot. He's got a very, very well-controlled left foot. That gives him another goal. So North Gambier right back into it now, 1 point up. 8 goals, 13-61 to 8-12-60. And it's certainly still anybody's game, that's for sure. So fitness will really tell. But 3 goals to Sam Stafford today. He's done a pretty good effort, that's for sure.
So hold on to your hats, folks, because we've got 1 point in it. We're 11 minutes into the last quarter. McConnell's back on in the middle of the ground, so he'll be refreshed after his whole 2 minutes off. Umpire throws up. It is man for man. It's still a free at the back of the pack here if they can get it to him for South Gambier. Umpire says, I'll ball it up again. We've seen a bit of this. So now you see the wings come in, a flanker comes in, a lot of congestion around the ball, and a player taken out without the ball, and that's Ortlett again. That'll be 50 because didn't give the ball back straight away. Went to a second player. So Cameron Ortlett will actually get into goal-scoring range out of the middle, and that's the battle you want in the middle, that hard-fought ball, and just to give it up like that, a bit disappointing. And
especially this late in the game and so close. So.
They're a point up in 12 minutes in, as he comes in very deliberate. Just got under it a little bit and didn't quite get to the actual goal square.
It's surprised that North Gambier didn't have their didn't hold up while they got their bigger players back there, because Stafford was standing right up here at centre half back, centre half forward alongside him.
So that was a point
that was a
in
rush
score.
Behind.
And South Gambier now. So they take off. They're going to go long. And why wouldn't you? Because down the ground is Liam Delaney. Here he is. Good set of jukes. Just as I say, it goes through. Guess who back? But they're the two I actually wanted to see on each other.
Yep.
Up it goes, juggling mark. They're pushing forward a little bit this quarter, North Gambier. And this is now sharing the ball around Tim McInerney. Quiet day, but this might be enough. Oh, just goes short to the lead. Just 3 on to 1. And McInerney unable to take it. So they'll clear here. But once again, the wall set up this time by North Gambier. Player down in back play here, very slow to get up, was Nick McInerney, who's taken himself down forward in the middle of the ground.
That certainly is, and good ruck work there. Sees it come out to North Gambier's Blackett,
Delaney.
but he can't take it. Delaney gets a tap away once again to put South in control, but then it goes back again to Kennedy of North. It's just scrambled forward. Stafford's bodied out of it, which surprises me, the big fella. Comes off hands now to South Gambier. Ooh, that's a big crush, and I reckon that's no. I nearly said Delaney once again. I'm getting used to calling his name. But South Gambier, they're good clash on bodies going through for Colby Munro, that's for sure. Colby Munro gets up all right. Ruckman go at it again. Hits the deck. McConnell jumps on it. Can't take control. Beautiful movement there by our mate Delaney. Gets it forward. Comes out there, and the big fellow at the back, Hendrick, he can't hold it. It's 2 on 1. Keeps going there. North Gambier clearing it back, but straight to, you guessed it, Delaney.
He got that last clearance out. He was very impressive in tight, in close. A nice little kick here. Brock Ketting. So Brock Ketting it is with the ball right on the wing here, commentator side, grandstand side, looks down the ground. You can see where he's going, half forward flank, 3 on to 3,
Foster.
and that is a spectacular grab by Foster. He's too far out, but he turns and puts it right into a dangerous position, and there's a grab out the back, runs in around the corner, and there's Braden Kane with his third, and you could probably put that down as a shared goal with Foster. But I think also, and I used to love this as a backman, remember back here, Liam Delaney, he's just grown as the game's gone on, but he, as I said, he's kicking and his marking is fine, but he got that clearance out in tight space, but he gave it to a player in a better position, and that's natural talent and ability there.
It is, and then the sense of mind to actually follow on, stay bound inside, run through, and set yourself in a clear target. There was nobody within 10 metres of him when he took that mark, so he got himself in the right position, stayed there, and his delivery forward precise, and that's what's been missing in this game, most of it. So it's great to see the young fellas standing up.
And young legs, he's on the wing here this quarter, so this will be interesting.
Back it goes in the centre. Good knockout this time, won by South Gambier, but the ball hits the deck, fighting everywhere for it. McConnell's down there, throws it out, shovels it out. McInerney for North, he can't pick it up.
There
Once
he
again,
is.
Delaney gets it onto that right boot, goes out wide looking for a target. There's good hands out there, but he fumbles in Brody Virgo. Virgo backs himself, backs his judgment, gets it back inboard, looks for O'Neill. Beautiful kick to Brett O'Neill. O'Neill right in the true centre of the ground. Holds it up now, looking for options, comes out wide now to Propotny. Propotny at true centre wing, just chips it over the top looking for a teammate. Probably could have run a bit harder to get the mark. There was young Ketting. Ketting kicks it on forward, and Delaney again, who's run
his work rate these last
back.
8 or 10 minutes. He's been impressive today. He just keeps getting better, but he's had that kick on the half-back flank. It's gone zigzag in, and now he's going to have a shot at goal. I'm really super impressed with this young lad.
Hopefully he'll set it up to the top of the square, because I'm not sure whether I'd back his leg from that pocket.
He likes it.
He likes it. He loves it, actually, and I'm going to be made a fool of here in a minute, which wouldn't be the first time.
Look at that. One of the best points ever scored down here.
Tried to force it too hard. Should have looked for the top of the square. So there you go. But anyway, but no, look, he deserves everything he gets, this kid. Even the North guys patting him on the back, saying well done. All right, so the game now sort of got into that twilight, literally, as we're playing here in semi-dark. But McConnell looks like, is it? No, sorry. Yes, it is. Justin McConnell brings it out. Tired legs there, but a beautiful kick still from him. Sees Cameron Ortler, who's done a great job today, I think, for his new club. He's got it, holding it up now, waiting for a clean target. Can't find one, so he's going to have to do it on his own. Runs around. Bit of a rattle handball out to Blackett. Blackett kicks it on a nice little chip shot down to Tim McInerney. Tim McInerney has it now on the halfback flank centre wing area, looking for a target. Comes long down the wing, but Paddy Glynn for South Gambier gets that.
One might say he found a target.
Found one, just not the right colour jumper. It comes out now wide from South Gambier to James Propotny. Propotny goes back inboard to the centre, finds O'Neill. How many times we called that name? Back out to Glenn. Glenn on the right foot. Little chip kick, nicely played, nicely weighted down there for Taylor Saffin. Saffin on that left boot, looking for a lovely kick there. Once again, South have just got better with their possession and their kicking skills.
So this is Todd Reid now.
Toddy Reid for South.
Long way out. Kicks into goal square. Foster, big pack forms player, come down hard there. They're out, they're in. Goes this way, goes that way, around the corner. Can't get it through to a player, so it's back onto the ground. That's a strong tackle, but taken high. And North Gambier just going to relieve a little bit of pressure. Might see a bit of cramp coming in now. This is Brett Shepherdson with the ball. Shepherdson now goes across the ground. That's a high kick. It's going to hang in the air a long time. And if they don't get a wriggle on it, could go out. It doesn't. It stays in. Jordan Hollett it is. Goes down the ground. Gets it back now into the middle of the ground. So number 29 is not Kevin Bartlett. It's Dylan Munn. Munn goes almost to the 50. And this is what we saw in that second quarter where they're just going between the 50s. Around it comes, and Brett O'Neill, who's started to pick up a few possessions, just standing, holding the ball under his arm. 5 points of difference on the scoreboard. Another possession here. That's a great kick into the middle. They're out now. A player almost run into trouble. Comes out to the half-forward flank wing area. Virgo's got his work cut out here. Oh, picks it up one hand. Can he get away? He does. Comes roaring in towards the goals, and just offline there's a grab. That looks to be, okay, take your pick. Is it Braden Kane? It is.
It is Kane, yeah.
And that's what we wanted to see from Brady Virgo. He, geez, I'll tell you what, he took him on, Graham. He took on the run.
He did.
Almost got tackled, got around. He's got the hands on the knees now. But they're at 5 points up, and if he kicks this...
Yeah. He's
they'll go 13.
Now. Virgo back behind the players grinning, and the trainer and the runner have both run out to him, and I think they've bought oxygen, that's for sure.
Get him a banana, get him there it is, Kane. He's kicked that into the netball courts. So we might see a netball come back out. So Braden Kane's kicked 4 now, so he might get a good report from the coach after the game, the way he's going.
If he plays his cards right, he should get a reasonable review from the coaching staff.
Just broken away a little bit. 8:14:62 North, 10:13:73 South. We're 19 and a half minutes into the final quarter. Probably go 25, 27, do you reckon, Graham?
Oh, I'd say, somewhere around there at the moment. As long as the council don't come and tell them it's too late to keep the lights on. But
and it's Monday.
So, no, look, it will be interesting now. Once again, North, they're starting to show signs of fatigue. They've got a lot of their guys, especially their forward line guys, they're all bent over, hands on knees. But up it goes in the centre. One guy who has given his all, though, is Brett Kennedy for North. He won the tap down there, but kicked out wide by O'Neill from South Gambier. Ball goes loose. Nobody can pick it up. Sat there on the ground for a bit longer than we'd expect, but goes loose again. North Gambier battled in hard there. Can't take a clean possession. It's bodies in everywhere at the moment. It's hard to kill. McInerney once again picks it up. Nick McInerney, that is. He gets it onto the right boot. Nobody there really, so he just goes wide on the wing. South Gambier now, runners still going, slipping over there, but could have worked in their favour. Nope, pushed over, will be out of bounds, or no, still stacks on a mill. Umpire's going in now to ball it up, but very hard to see over that side, Tony. Yeah,
interesting, Graham. 2 kicks in it, really, but if we look at South Gambier, they've kicked 5 and 3 in the last 2 quarters, and North have kicked 1 and 2. So, as you said, that second half for North Gambier might be the problem at the moment. And can they get it down here again and get another one? A lot of tired players out there. Kennedy, it is, goes up. Bounces out fortuitously, taken the ground. McConnell is at a mountain of it. Kennedy's run on. This is the ruckman. So he's run on, kicked it long and deep. But if you just kick it long and deep and not to a player, this is what can happen. And quality rises. That is a great grab. Out wide again, and a little bit of possession. They've still got, this is what I like. Look at the South Gambier players. They're still all running.
Yep, and
players coming off the half-back line. Yeah, there's still got proactive movement, but look at that. You do that and it turns over. Umpires. Yeah. So it is like kick the kick in the old-fashioned footy. There's been a bit of that today. Back it goes now, North Gambier. North Gambier players are running. There's a player in the middle. just goes over the top, links up, wouldn't believe it, gets it back, starting to rack up the stats. Now they come inside. Good jukes by the little fella and Tyler Harris. Hasn't stopped trying all day, but they need to get a wriggle on now with probably 5 or 6 minutes to go, and that kick's not going to help, and so it just becomes a barrel forward. And you know what? It does help, because they're going to have a shot from probably 50 out. Number 12 here is Cameron Ortlep. Good set of hands to have it in.
To go. The timekeepers have just indicated. So
sorry, what was that?
About a minute and a half to go.
Minute and a half. So Ortlep now lining up. Probably 45 out when he kicks it. Comes in, runs around to the right a little bit. That's a long kick.
That's a floating.
And he sprayed that out to the right. I don't think that hit the ball. Ball didn't hit his foot right either there. So unfortunate. Both teams could say you've rued your chances. 8 goals, 14. Back in the old coaching days, that'd be 6 laps in my day.
Well, I probably would have gone a lap for each point today because that's just unheard of, and it's the way that they're approaching the ball. It's just not good to watch. So anyway, coming back to this side of the clubroom house, or the wing, whatever you want to call it, here at Vansittart Park. It's been a great night. Off now, O'Neill once again for South Gambier. Under pressure, gets a lovely kick away, taken there in the centre. South Gambier guys are all waving their hands saying steady, steady, steady. Nice little chip kick over there for South Gambier. Everyone's yelling out hold, including the 184 coaches, to Colby Munro. So Munro holds on now. Little left foot chip looking for and finding a teammate once again here in the centre, and that's the coach himself. So Brody's brought himself down. He's brought himself down to the wing very well. The big man, Handrick, he gets, you can see tired legs there. He runs underneath the ball. Comes out again, once again, to Caleb Bowd. Bowd gets it inboard, but it's a turnover here now. Off to number 18 in Hollett. Hollett for North Gambier looks forward now. Comes on beautifully there, picked up by Tim McInerney. Tries to drill it forward, does so. Nice mark there once again. So this is...
been impressive, hasn't he?
Yeah, so this is the wit.
Just those rangy long arms, the telescopic arms, comes out, hasn't stopped trying.
Yeah, and this is the bit that worries me. He doesn't take enough time at the top of his mark, and he sprayed that right once again. We all know he didn't have much time, but he's done that all game, where he gets back quickly, but he doesn't stop and get his line right, and he'll learn that. He's only a young footballer, really, Toby, a fantastic basketballer in his day, and he's going to be around for a long time to come. But it's all over here at Vansittart Park, and once again South Gambier have run out victors there, and it's an amazing night, that's for sure, to sit and watch. Weather's been beautiful, hasn't been influenced by the wind at all, but North Gambier certainly seem to be lacking just a tad in the fitness side. So, mate, so that's your first time back in South East for a while.
Last year,
but back to watch these games here with these lights on, a bit of a different feel, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? The atmosphere, you can hear the music roaring away in the background, and they were 19 points down at half time, but I think self-belief and team belief is a very big thing, because I think they knew that they could do it, but they just had to straighten up a bit, and as we said, they started to use that width, they started to use the players out wide, and then you look at, which I was super impressed with, you had your Brett O'Neills, of course, who were leading the way, and Propotny, probably not as much in the last quarter, but he led the way in the tougher times through there. But the one I was really impressed with, well, 2 of them, but Liam Delaney's game, in the second half especially, he just got better and better, and he kept them in the game in the last quarter with a few of those movements. And the other one was Dane Handrick, who didn't have a lot of it, but, geez, he gives you a good option. So,
and then Braden Kane, the coach, he really stood up after that halfway through the first quarter. He sort of moved Foster out a little bit further. Brodie Foster still ended up with his 3 goals. Probably could have had 6. A bit of wayward kicking in the first quarter and a half. But Braden came with his 4 goals, and the way he went about it was what made the big difference there. He attacked the ball hard. He took the hits with him. He kept his head, and he went back. He took his time. Only a matter of seconds for him to focus again, and that's the sign of an experienced footballer. But look, South Gambier, far too strong, and the fitness, I think, certainly weighed out there. North Gambier, look, the captain, Nick McInerney, as he got tired, he got a little bit undisciplined with a few things he just doesn't need to do. There's no point whatsoever. But as a player, you just love having him in your side. He just gets around and protects everyone.
Well, I thought his last quarter was better. His third quarter was a little bit of undisciplined, yes, but he needs to lead by example. He did do that in the last quarter. We'll stay with the telecast because we can see South Gambier getting a little bit of an address from their teams and coaches. And to the left, North Gambier players a little bit despondent, 11-point down. And the umpires have handed across the award, I believe, and we're getting the teams to line up. Inside 50s, 8 to North and 11 to South that quarter. Yeah. So a bit of a tail there. Centre bounce 2 to 5. So they also got
spectators. Thank you. Tony Casadillo was born in Port Lincoln 1945. He grew up in Mount Gambier attending Marist Brothers College. Tony Casadillo served in the Royal Australian Navy, joining in 1964. His unit while in Vietnam had the motto, "Get the bloody job done." Tony's efforts and courage, leadership displayed during conflict were of the highest order. Aged 22, he was killed in action on the 21st of August 1968, along with 3 other helicopter members. His remains were buried on September the 10th, 1968 in Corinna Gardens Cemetery. Today the umpires made their selection for the Tony Casadillo Medal. South Gambier, number 5, Brett O'Neill. And the medal today is presented by President of the League, Michael Summers.
Just like to say thanks to the League for allowing the 2 clubs to play on such a special day on the Australian calendar, so thank you. And thanks to North for hosting the day. Done a good job. Thank you.
Thank you all. That's the end, and enjoy a safe trip home.
So there we have it, folks. Julie winner. We probably had 3 or 4 that we could have given it to. And we go through the goal scorers. I'll cover North first of all, Graham, with Nick McInerney with 2. They were early in the day. Jake Schultz 1, Hamish Telford 1, Sam Stafford with 3, stood up there in the last quarter. And Toby DeWitt kicked 1 and probably could have had another 4 or 5, but certainly something to build with him. They'll get a hold of him, very raw, if you like, in his approach to his kicking and so on. But, geez, he's given them something up forward and better players. I had McInerney in there. I had Backman at times. Brett Kennedy in the ruck. He did a mighty job. Joel Griffith at times was very good. Cameron Ortlep really stood out today. Sam Stafford was the other one who kicked the 3. And we'll go across to
South Gambier. Players, I think, certainly the medal winner, Brad O'Neill, was absolutely fantastic throughout the day. The way he set up play, his football brain just really worked exceptionally well. He got into the right positions at the right time, got across well. But for the goal kickers, Braden Kane, their coach, with 4. Brodie Foster, the big gun, full forward, with 3. And he's another one that probably could have had another 3 if his kicking boot was on. Dane Handrick, the big fella, battled all day with his 1. And then the 2 for Liam Delaney. And look, Liam Delaney would have put a lot of pressure on.
Spend a bit of time on him.
Because he's a good little kid, that's for sure. And I think the umpires would have had a fairly rough decision to make between him and Brett O'Neill. But both of them are very similar players, only about a 15, 18-year gap. So what a great potential they have there with South Gambier. Look, for South Gambier, really they started off very slow and a lot under pressure, but then guys like James Propotny certainly stood up in that first quarter. Brodie Foster, his kicking boot just wasn't on till halfway through the second. Brock Ketting for number 10 for South. He was another one that was in and out of at times. I was quite impressed with Alex Harkness Todd Reid and Alex Harkness actually. But Alex Harkness in that first 2.5 quarters, he sort of faded away in the last, but he was very physical and very strong around that centre area. And then mainly when they went to half forward. Taylor Saffin certainly showed himself. Colby Munro in and out at patches. He's got a bit to work on, I think. Definitely, Hardrick. Well, what can you say? Dane Handrick has just really shown what an old-style ruckman can do. He worked really, really hard around the ground. He got his body in the right position, right in front, and when he knew he couldn't mark, he was the first one to get the fist up to bring it to ground.
Yep.
And brought the younger players and smaller players like Brett O'Neill into the game. South, look, they're premiers for a reason in the